Brother Sanchez, Brother Sanchez. Let me get on over to the GOAT. Sanchez in the building. What up, Sanchez?
Salute, son. That I wanted to say something when you be telling them that God and the devil are the same. I want them to look up the demiurge. The name of the demiurge was Yahdaboeth, which is this God Yahweh. Before you had Jesus and the devil, you had one supreme God that did both good and bad. This one God can curse you if you're done wrong. He can bless you if you're done right. But after that, they changed it. They split that God into Christ and the devil. And if you notice, Christ and devil were the sons of God at the right hand and the throne, and they both were casted down. One is the embodiment of the demiurge's good side. One is the embodiment of the demiurge's bad side. Y'all can go look all this up. I don't hear nobody bringing up the demiurge, but this is the ancient gnostic system that this modern Christianity is founded on as far as Yahweh concerned, and how he's splitting up his good and bad energies. Today we got God and the devil, but back in the day they didn't have that. They had one entity. If you did bad, he curse you. If you did good, he bless you. So you can go look that up on your own, guys. Go look up the demiurge. Peace and love, everybody. Today is Sunday. And on Sundays, we like to school Christians, amen. We like to give you some knowledge. We're going to beat and teach on this Sunday. If you can hear my voice loud and clear, drop a 1 if you can hear me loud and clear. Salutes to everybody out there. We back in the building, baby. Leonard Robinson. What's good, Leonard Robinson? Hey, everybody, it's 420, so I'm going to be smoking today. And I don't care if I'm on camera because, hey, it's 420, man. Now, how's everybody doing out there? Leonard Robinson, thank you for that super chat. Said, Bro Sanchez, I really appreciate you spreading this knowledge. Mobile, Alabama in the house. Shout out to my nigga. Shout out. Yo, I want to do something back home for all of my flat power in my hometown, for real. That's like past due. Okay. I got to find my weed. Hold on. This is 420. And today's show, we're going to be smoking, beating, and teaching, debating everything y'all like about Bro Sanchez TV, for sure. But let me go grab something real quick. And yeah, we're going to drop the call-in link too for people who want to deal with the subject and who would like to entertain this Resurrection Sunday. If you would like to touch on that question, call on in. If you're a Christian and you think Jesus is physical body resurrected, call on in. I'm going to break this video down, but first, let me just play it for y'all with no interruptions. This is a classic, if you ask me, when I debated G-Man on Sonetta. And it was the first time I kind of introduced this to the community. The fact that I never really thought to introduce it because it's sort of when you're learning, you tend to just think everybody know what you know, but then you'll be surprised how lost our people are when you come out of your cave after all your research. And you realize that people really think Jesus is rotten corpse, filthy corpse, got up off the ground when the Bible said that he gave up the ghosts. So Christians, we need y'all to call in. And for everyone else, we're going to be doing some deep syncretism. And we're going to be getting into a lot of gods that predate Jesus. And these were the gods of resurrection. We're going to be getting into the Easter bunny, because a lot of Christians, they don't understand where bunnies fit in the Bible. You can't show me anything about Easter bunnies or eggs in the Bible because that don't got nothing to do with Christianity. What you call Christianity is an amalgamation of a bunch of indigenous traditions and rituals compiled and whitewashed into a pretty package that you call the King James Version of the Bible, my friend. These are facts. I hope that didn't go over y'all head, man. We're going to be getting into that in a minute. That's why a lot of things Christians do, they can't find it in the Bible. Christianity is more than just the Bible, because the Christians started to adopt a lot of indigenous and tribal practices in their system when they started to conquer other people. They didn't just take those people practices away. They embedded those people's original practices into Christianity. And I'll be showing y'all that in here in a second. Let's play the video though. Let me play this 10-minute classic for y'all, man. Like and share on your way in.
Brother Sanchez. Let me get on over to the GOAT. Sanchez in the building. What up, Sanchez?
Salute, son. That I wanted to say something when you be telling them that God and the devil are the same. I want them to look up the demiurge. The name of the demiurge was Yahdaboeth, which is this God Yahweh. Before you had Jesus and the devil, you had one supreme God that did both good and bad. This one God could curse you if you done wrong. He can bless you if you done right. But after that, they changed it. They split that God into Christ and the devil. And if you notice, Christ and devil were the sons of God at the right hand and the throne, and they both were casted down. One is the embodiment of the demiurge's good side. One is the embodiment of the demiurge's bad side. Y'all can go look all this up. I don't hear nobody bringing up the demiurge, but this is the ancient Gnostic system that this modern Christianity is founded on, as far as Yahweh concerned, and how he's splitting up his good and bad energies. Today we got God and the devil, but back in the day they didn't have that. They had one entity. If you did bad, he curse you. If you did good, he bless you. So you can go look that up on your own, guys. Go look up the demiurge, guys. And I got a question too. That wasn't a question. That was just me telling you to go look it up. See, I'm not.
In the book of Job, the devil is mentioned, and so is God. They're two different entities, sir. The devil is a created being. We see in the book of Ezekiel.
I'm about to ask the question now.
The devil there, and we see that God. That God is not created, and the devil is, sir.
I didn't ask a question.
What are you talking about?
I didn't ask a question. I'm about to ask my question.
One, though? That's why you're in here. To ask me a question.
Calm down, man. Don't do your eyes like this. Is bad for your forehead.
Listen to me, dude. You're coming in here teaching.
All right, time out. Everybody, time out.
Can I ask my question and go?
Come on, ask your question, Sanchez.
Like, come on, man. Stop coming here teaching. What's your question?
Cool. I just had to come in. I was talking to Sonetta, by the way, just backing him up on the God and devil being the same. And I can do that without this guy interrupting. Bro, your God needs to give you decorum. Now, let me ask you a question. When Jesus was resurrected, did his physical body get up out the grave? And
watch this dummy.
or did his spirit only resurrect? And I'm not trying to corner you or nothing. I'm not debating. I'm just sincerely saying how you're gonna answer this.
What does the Bible say? What did the scripture say? The scripture says.
Hold on, let him ask you the question. Let him ask you, G-Man.
He just asked me.
Please. So if you say that his physical body got up, I want to know at what age did he die, and when did they hunt him back down and try to put him back on the cross? But if you say his spirit only got up, cool, we good. But I just wanted to hear what you got to say. I don't want you asking me no questions. I'm here to learn from you. I'm your student right now, and I'm hungry.
I'm a fucking chess player. Let's go.
Myself.
According to the scriptures, when Jesus rose from the dead, he rose bodily.
You goddamn dummy.
Stupid.
I love making a fool out of Christians that don't do due diligence, y'all.
That's right.
He said, according to the Bible, Jesus' physical body got up, but according to the Bible, it say Jesus gave up what? The ghost. If Jesus' physical body got up, guess what you got to ask a person? What happened after that? They ain't going to have nothing to say. So you telling me the Bible, the New Testament, is to record the entire life of Jesus Christ. And they stopped recording his life out the Cavalry. But you telling me his physical body got up.
Stupid.
Jesus' physical body got up at Cavalry, but the Caesar didn't go hunt it back down. The Caesar was like, yeah, he good. The story ended at Cavalry. If Jesus' physical body would have got up at Cavalry, the story would have been kept being recorded. Let's play the video.
Physical body?
Yes, his physical body rose from the dead.
I got one more question after that.
But wait a minute.
So what they think that Jesus is a damn zombie. They think that Jesus brain. They think Jesus is some thriller video type. They worship, my guy, you worship a zombie. And that ain't what the Bible didn't say that. Let me tell you how you know these Christians is lost, y'all. The Bible say no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom of heaven. That's right. I'm going to say it one more time. The Bible says no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom. After Jesus died on the cross, he went down to defeat the devil, and he rose up into heaven with all glory. He was able to speak to his disciples before he ascended. The books say that Jesus ascended. If Jesus ascended back to the Father and to the kingdom after his crucifixion, he couldn't have did it in the flesh. Because can't no flesh and blood enter the kingdom. Why don't Christians know their Bible?
That's right.
Can I ask you?
I'm not done yet, though. But I'm not done. You asked me a question, and I'm in the middle of it.
Age did he die, and when did they hunt him back down and try to put him back on the cross? But if you say his spirit only got up, cool, we good. But I just wanted to hear what you got to say. I don't want you asking me no questions. I'm here to learn from you. I'm your student right now, and I'm humbling myself.
According to the scriptures, when Jesus rose from the dead, he rose bodily.
His physical body?
Yes, his physical body rose from the dead.
I got one more question after that.
But wait a minute.
Can I ask you?
I'm not done.
The man done. I asked him a question. Did Jesus' physical body rise? He said yes. So he answered my question, so he was done. That's it. You answered the question. You know he don't want to stop talking because he know he's going to have problems with his answer. He don't want me to get the mic back after he answer my question because he know that I'm going to ask him what happened next. If Jesus' body got up, what happened next? He ain't going to have a story, y'all. Can't nobody tell me the story of what happened when Jesus' physical body got back up. And that mean he was walking around on earth with everybody, bro. That mean the Caesars would have had to come re-hunt him down. That meant someone would have had to keep recording the scripture of what happened next in his life. But Jesus' life ended at the cross, y'all. Jesus died like a mortal man. And that's what God came to do. And he gave up the ghost. Christians are horrible, man, because they don't know nothing about this religion that they in. It's sad and cringeworthy. We good, but I just wanted to hear what you got to say. I don't want you asking me no questions. I'm here to learn from you. I'm your student right now, and I'm humbling myself.
According to the scriptures, when Jesus rose from the dead, he rose bodily.
His physical body?
Yes, his physical body rose from the dead.
I got one more question after that.
But wait a minute.
Can I ask you?
I'm not done yet, though. But I'm not done. You asked me a question, and I'm in the middle of it, and then you got one more question.
You so argumentative. You answer me. I like that answer. I'm good with that. I got one more, and I gotta go.
So he rose bodily, but obviously his spirit wasn't. His spirit entered the body. So anyway, go ahead.
Right, brother. So you said his physical body got up. why didn't the Caesar go back and hunt him down again and make sure he was dead? And if his physical body got up, what age did he really die? And when, you see what I'm saying? If his physical body got up, you mean to tell me nobody got a record of what happened after the cross when his life lived on and his physical body
as
lived
far as
on?
your second question goes with Caesar, you got to show me some scripture to show me what you're talking about regarding.
This is how you corner him, y'all. I got him right there. You got to show me some scriptures to show you what you're talking. You know what I'm talking about. It's simple what I'm talking about. You said his physical body got up. I asked you, where is the records of what happened after he got up? And now you need scriptures? No, you need to be giving me scriptures on what happened in his life after his physical body got up, since you made that answer.
Regarding that. Like that.
Right, brother. So you said his physical body got up. Why didn't the Caesar go back and hunt him down again and make sure he was dead? And if his physical body got up, what age did he really die? And when, you see what I'm saying? If his physical body got up, you mean to tell me nobody got a record of what happened after the cross when his life lived on and his physical body
as far as
lived
your
on?
second question goes with Caesar, you got to show me some scripture to show me what you're talking about regarding that. You said, why didn't Caesar go looking for him?
Right. What I'm saying is, if this man's physical body got up out the grave, everybody would have told Caesar, look, Christ has resurrected, and Caesar would have been like, okay, let's go get him again. Let's like the story ended at the cross. And I'm saying, if Christ's physical body resurrected, there should have been more to the story. There should have been more.
To answer your question, sir. Okay, to answer your question, sir. And you got a lot of straw men that you're working with. Okay, number one.
How the hell is it a straw man of me asking you a question based on what you said? You said that the man's physical body got up. I asked you what happened to his physical body after that. Once you say his physical body rose up, it didn't just stand there and stare at everybody. Now you got to give me some more details on what his physical body did when it got up. Because I don't have to do that. You know why? I'm going with what the Bible said. The Bible said Jesus' physical body died and he gave up the ghost. And the ghost ascended up to heaven and he basically kissed everybody goodbye and told them, I'll visit you in the future throughout the end of the ages. How did he forget that? He calling my joint a straw man because he don't know his Bible, y'all. Come on now, this is sad. And this is why people stop debating Sanchez.
That's right.
It would have been like, okay, let's go get him again. Let's like the story ended at the cross. And I'm saying, if Christ's physical body resurrected, there should have been more to the story. There should have been more.
To answer your question, sir. Okay, to answer your question, sir. And you got a lot of straw men that you're working with. Okay, number one.
Asking questions.
Number one. They got up.
What happened to it?
Sir, I'm trying to answer your question. You either know this or you don't. You're my student, so do me a favor and just be quiet.
He is big mad. Drop a one if he big mad, y'all.
For a moment, okay? So number one, we have a book of Acts for a reason, the Acts of the Apostles. And believe you me, they told Caesar that Jesus rose from the dead. Unfortunately, Caesar did not believe him.
So what happened for the rest of Jesus' life? They told Caesar that Jesus rose from the dead. Caesar didn't believe him because he didn't see a physical body walking around, dummy.
That's right.
Because the Bible said Jesus gave up the ghost. In today's terms, that means you died, dummy. If someone's spirit leaves their body, what does that mean, y'all? Don't that mean death today? So the Bible clearly said Jesus gave up the ghost. And you know why this guy is having a hard time telling me what Jesus did for the rest of his life? Because Jesus' life ended at the cross, y'all.
That's right.
Now he's sitting there saying everybody told Caesar Jesus resurrected. Okay, cool. What did Jesus do after he resurrected? Where is the book at that I can read to show me Jesus' life after the resurrection? Because I'm sure Jesus kept preaching. He didn't just resurrect and sit there and do nothing. Where's the rest of his life recording out the Cavalry, y'all? You see how easy this is? And when you stubborn and full of ego, it's easy to win a debate on you because you're wrong, but you can't accept the fact you're wrong and that I got you. And all you can do is be mad and irate. But I'm going to teach y'all something today about the resurrection. Let's go.
Sir, and you got a lot of straw men that you're working with. Okay, number
I'm
one.
asking questions.
Number
If
one,
his physical body
they
got
did
up,
tell
what
Caesar
happened
about
to it?
Sir, I'm trying to answer your question. You either know this or you don't. You're my student, so do me a favor and just be quiet for a moment, okay? So number one, we have a book of Acts for a reason, the Acts of the Apostles. And believe you me, they told Caesar that Jesus rose from the dead. Unfortunately, Caesar did not believe him. Okay, and it did not end at the cross. If you go to the book of Acts, the first couple of chapters, he ascends to the Father. After they ate for a little bit, he ascends to the Father.
I just got him right there. People think about that now. He said Jesus' life didn't end at the cross. He ascended to the Father. You just said what I said. Bro, if I ascend to the Father right now, it won't be in flesh. See, he just admitted Jesus ascended to the Father. But what he won't admit is that ain't no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom.
That's right.
If can't no flesh and blood enter the kingdom of God, how did Jesus ascend to the Father in the flesh? When the scripture clearly say Jesus gave up the ghost, that's what ascended to the Father. Even when John of Patmos met with the Father on the seventh heaven, when he recorded Revelation, he did it via an out-of-body experience, just like Enoch.
That's right.
Ain't nobody ascending to heaven in the flesh. When the Bible say ain't no flesh allowed in the kingdom, that was an ancient way of saying you got to get out of your body in order to explore the astral realm. Did y'all come here to learn today? Where my deep people at? This shit gonna be deep today, baby. We talk about out-of-body experiences all the time, astral projection. When the Bible said can't no flesh enter heaven, them was ancient people saying, hey, if you want to travel the stars, you got to learn how to have an out-of-body experience, or what they call a OBE. Y'all ain't ready, man. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready to see the other side with me. I would take you. But see, y'all ain't ready. Listen.
You're working on assumptions and you're not working on facts. So context means everything. So if you're going to be specific about this, it does not end at the cross. Caesar was told about the resurrection. Caesar did not believe it. Caesar thought that Christians were a bunch of crazy people during that particular time and persecuted them heavily, according to history and the Bible.
Okay.
Okay.
One more thing and I'm out. I'm gonna end on this. If Christ's physical body got up out the grave, then that's the gospels of Christ should have continued after the doggone crucifixion, y'all. That should have been more miracles, more tours. Then we should have had an age, right, that Jesus died, other than the age that they dated him on that cross.
Because they said that Jesus died at age 33 at Cavalry. They said Jesus was 33 years old when he died. The definition of dying is giving up the ghost and ascending to the Father, in case you forgot. Hey, I got a caller on the line. Let's not keep him waiting. We got the call line open for Christians, for questions, for whatever you got. So salutes to everybody on the call. And you guys can unmute and speak your mind whenever you want. Yeah, salutes to you, sister.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
The Mary Magdalene, that has been taken out of the Bible, but she has more to say about after the resurrection, and of course the Book of Thomas, but which is not in the Bible. So, what do you think about that?
I think that after the resurrection, the gospels did continue, but you have no more recordings of Jesus's actions. After he ascended to the Father, we have no more action. It's like this character have walked off the script now. It's like you watching a movie and the main character leaves the movie at like toward the mid end of the movie. So we watching the last 30 minutes of the movie without the main character. So if somebody asks me, what did Wesley Snipes do after he died? I'm going to say he died at 2 hours in the movie. So he didn't do nothing at 2 hours and 15 mark. Or you see what I'm saying? So that's the problem that the Christians are in when they think that Jesus' physical body got up. Now they got the responsibility of tracking this corpse around and letting me know what this zombie did after he got up. And that's a hard task because the Bible would have recorded everything Jesus did after that. It wouldn't have just stopped recording his life. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely.
this is a conversation I love having with Christians because they just think they know their religion. And it really does something to me when I see their eyes get big, like, damn, I've been thinking the man physical body. And I know they ain't going to agree with me because stubborn, ego ain't going to let you say I was wrong. But, it does plant a seed in them. I'm going to play the rest of this and we're going to keep the link dropping for you.
That Jesus died other than the age that they dated him on that cross. After that crucifixion of Christ, there's none else we read about. He tell his disciples to go build churches, and then he ascend to the heavens. I'm not asking a question. I'm making a statement, and I'm leaving. Based on the questions. And the statement that I'm making is Christians can't maintain that Christ's physical body got up out the grave if they're gonna still maintain the fact that the story ended at the cross, and that's a fact. No matter what he say.
Shout out to my nigga outside the cube too, because that's another heavy hitter when it comes to the debating. And yeah, he had to come in on that one and say good point, because you know what? G-Man trying to act like I didn't dagger him here. Every Easter, I like to play this clip because this is about resurrection today. And a lot of Christians are celebrating Easter. They talking about resurrection, and they really think they're really worshiping a damn zombie. In their mind, they're worshiping a thriller corpse. And Sanchez got to come and teach their Bible to them on this Sunday and let them see what the word says. Amen, in Jesus' name. And let them see that the word of God, it says, my fellow Christian brothers and sisters, that he gave up the ghost. It didn't say that he picked up the corpse. Go read your Bible, my Christians. I'm about to preach today. I'm feeling preachy today.
No matter what he say, y'all, that was it.
Okay, right. So just to respond.
So he ain't gonna let me just say that and leave. He's been cut, so let him bleed out. Let him bleed on out.
Still maintain the fact that the story ended at the cross, and that's a fact. No matter what he say, no matter what he say, y'all, that was it.
Okay, right. So just to respond to that real quick,
he's trying to trip me up. But he know what I'm saying. We got him.
If you go read the book of Acts, the gospel did get preached afterward, and it's still.
Yeah, we see what he doing, y'all. I killed him, and he making points that's irrelevant. He talking about I'm making straw mans. That's what he doing. Because check this out, bro. I just cut you. You can't tell me what Jesus did after he got up. But you keep on saying the gospel did get preached. We know that. The disciples went on to preach the gospel without Jesus. Why? Because his body was gone. Dagger. You got to ask him, when the disciples continued to preach the gospel, where was Jesus? Because you just said his body got up, right? Why did the disciples go and spread the gospel without Jesus after Cavalry? Because his body was gone and decomposing. His spirit had ascended. I don't know why Christians think that they worshiping a goddamn zombie, y'all. That's why I like doing these streams. It's amazing, bro. And the algorithm will never let your boy go viral. Even though if you listen to what I'm telling you, y'all, this shit really can wake a lot of people up. They don't know they don't know their fucking own religion. It's simple stuff. It's simple stuff that they don't know. And they got these rich pastors, man, making millions of dollars. And I got to teach somebody in your congregation that they're not worshiping a fucking zombie. Oh, man. And you will have a biblical debate of people literally talking about a zombie. And that shit'll be viral. And I'm giving you the game like it's right there in the Bible that he gave up the ghost.
Still being preached to this very day.
Okay, so the Bible clearly states in Matthew 27:50 that Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. That meant
Jesus came in the New Testament.
that meant that Jesus was in so much pain, he was screaming and you know, oh shit, oh, you know, all of that. And then he gave up one last cry, and he gave up the go. He breathed his last breath, is what the Bible say. Today we say he breathed his last breath, but the Bible say he gave up the ghost. That's the same thing.
Jesus came in the New Testament.
We got a brother named Marcus Curry on the call. What are you trying to say to me, sir? Thank you for joining.
I said Jesus came in the New Testament.
We know that. The question of today is, did his physical body resurrect at Cavalry?
I mean, I can't determine that because I wasn't there. But
based on what the
know,
Bible say, did his physical body resurrect?
No, he died, and then
Smart man.
So yeah,
you see, Marcus, I can't do nothing with you, brother. I'ma just let you cook because I can't debate you. You already know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to you very, but they ain't what it is. It's really diabolical what they talk about. The Bible, I mean, you know what the Bible is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a book. It's in a fictional section in the library.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's in the fictional section.
It's in the fictional section. So I mean, they try to trick us. They try to play us, and they try to make us look stupid.
And shout out to everybody on the call. I think we got a brother by the name of Daniel on the call. Yeah, y'all can hop in at any time on what we're doing, right? We're got a dope question. You know what I'm saying? And the question is, did Jesus, you answered it, Marcus. Let's see what Daniel got to say. And we'll just, pass the mic around. Let me drop the link again.
All right, let me tell you something. You hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining.
Okay, hold on. Let me talk, sir.
Hold up. You gotta wait.
Hold on.
Daniel was first.
Let me speak real quick. It's 30 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead. You can
go.
Go ahead.
Daniel was first,
I got a knife in my hand
bro.
till 12 a.m., bro. I heard screaming all day. Niggas screaming in the background of my fucking you know what I mean? Me listening to the birds and shit. I'm hearing people fucking scream for their life and shit. All right? This is not a fucking game, bro. This is the real deal, nigga.
Hey, man, find you a therapist, bro. We trying to get knowledge, bro. I don't know what you on.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something right now, or I'm going to tell y'all something real quick, right? I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. I didn't boot him off, but I'm going to tell you, we going to have to pray to the ancestors for that brother. Because, listen, this brother got a fucking knife in his hand. And I'm going to tell you something about brothers like that, why it ain't funny. Because that brother got mental issues. And I'm going to tell you something. Brothers like him be getting killed by the police, man. And I hate to see it. Like, it's clear that the brother got mental issues. But the police ain't going to. You see how he had that knife? See, a police would have just shot him just right there. Put the knife down. Pop. And see, that's why I feel for him, because if he have any altercations with the cops, with his mind, it ain't gonna go well, man. That's sad.
Yeah, I'm ex-Marine, man. We don't play that.
Yeah.
Well, some people like to die by cops, cops by suicide. Is that what they
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
They want the cops. They want to be killed by the cops.
That's sad. But yeah, salutes to everybody on the call, man. We got a good bill on this Easter Sunday. Basically, giving Christians something to think about. My whole thing is to let them know, like, y'all are not worshiping. Think about it. They saying they serve an immortal God that can't die. They God is a living God that resurrected. That would be an old ass corpse walking around the earth right now. You know what's so crazy about Christians? They think that Jesus' physical body got up. Now I gotta ask them, so when did his physical body die? They'll have to say it never died. You know why? Because his ghost is what was given up. That's how he became immortal. So watch this, right? The thing about them believing in Jesus' physical body getting up, that means Jesus will be walking around right now as an old corpse. But guess what? When Christians pray, they look up to heaven because Jesus ascended up to the Father. He gave up the ghost. He didn't give down the ghost. He gave it up. Give up. See how words play into. But you see, but it's deep stuff, I'm gonna go into the real concept of where the Easter bunny come from, because the bunny ain't got nothing to do with Christianity. And a lot of people will say Easter is a pagan holiday. Pagan just mean non-Christian, and we weren't Christian, so we would have been pagan. And they'll tell you it mean all of this demonic stuff and crazy stuff. No, that was everybody celebrates certain things differently, even today. But the original people that made these things, they did it in very, respectful ways. Let me let other people build real quick. Salutes to Jayton. Salutes to everybody. Hold on a
Hey,
second.
peace and blessings, brother Sanchez. Did Daniel want to talk first?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
a Christian. I'm not a Christian, but I have been doing some research and reading about this Easter story here. Jesus dies on the cross. Bro Sanchez says he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Then he appears to Mary Magdalene at the tomb as a gardener. So the story does continue where Jesus is alive at the tomb. He tells Mary Magdalene, "You can touch me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go tell my brethren and say unto them that I have ascended to the Father." So Jesus appeared to Mary Magdalene, said, "You can touch me because I have not yet ascended to the Father."
And Thomas. And Thomas. Remember doubting Thomas?
Yes. Yes, that's right. Yes, including Thomas. Yes. So that's where I'm confused. If he gave up the ghost, how did he appear to these people after his death in the tomb? If he died on the cross, telling them that he did not ascend to the Father.
Remember, people did not recognize him when he did resurrect. People did not recognize him. But didn't they claim that someone stole the body after, when they went to look for him? They was thinking that his body was stolen because he wasn't there.
But he appeared to Mary and told her that he had not ascended to the Father. If he had not ascended to the Father, how did he give up the ghost? That's my confusion.
Yeah, man. Who we got? Matthew Lee, Project Baby Buddha. Salutes to y'all. Introduce yourselves. Let us know what bring you here. Salutes to everybody, man. Welcome.
Hey, peace and blessings, brother Sanchez. Yeah, I'm on board with you, man. Honestly, I really don't even believe or know if he was really a real person. I've done a little research here and there, but I can't even say if he really walked the earth. But now my wife, she a Jehovah Witness, and she got some I think she don't want to put her 2 cents in, but
Well,
yeah, but she
I get exactly what you're saying. I don't think that there was a literal Jesus that walked the earth. I think Jesus is a figure, a character to represent man's journey in the flesh. So all of us are Jesus, or ye are gods. Shout out.
I believe the essence of Jesus and the Christ. I honestly feel like Jesus and Lucifer like the same being. Because Lucifer being a light bringer, it's that light
You
bringer,
right.
the Horus,
Uh-huh.
Lucifer.
You right.
Some would say like the Houthi, but not really the Houthi, but more so Horus, Lucifer. Some say my wife, she believe he really Michael. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe he really was Michael. But
You know what I found out when I became a syncretist? That there's only one deity that ever was on the earth, and everybody just portrayed it in their own way. From the god Shu that we see in Egyptian cosmology, that's Yeshua, which is Christ. You can start
exactly. You could take off
Uh-huh.
the J at the beginning. Yep.
Yep.
And the S at the end. Yep. You get
and then if you take the M off Moses, you get Isis or Isis, which is if you take the J off Jesus, you get Isis or Isis. It's all the same God. Isis with her wings open is Jesus with his arms open, and it's Moses splitting that sea with his arms open.
Oh.
So everybody is telling us the same thing about how to cross over to the other side or the promised land, which is this out of body experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense because how Papa Legba, how he represent the crossroads, the cross, even in Haitian voodoo with the veve is depicted with a cross.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, and the reason for people may say, well, man, why is it only one deity on the earth and it's represented in different ways? That's because everyone in the ancient world found out a way to explain man's soul coming into the body and leaving the body. That became the story of God visiting the earth in the flesh. So any religion that teaching us about God making a body and coming into the earth and dying and going back to heaven, that's all of our story. And it was just told through many figures at different times. And now everybody, taking it literally when it was literally personifying man's journey in the flesh, which is why Jesus said, ye are gods, even though people think he was just saying that to the authoritarians. We can argue that, but yeah, I got a lot of sacred geometry as well that'll support my claims as far as Yahweh being Jesus, Jesus being Lucifer. Is all like syncretism shows us this, and that's what I'll do. I'll grab some slides.
Yes, sir. What you think about Unki and Unlil? Because from what I've heard, Unki was like Eshu or like Lucifer or the Houthi or however they would say, like all these different syncretized guys.
Yep, you got
and
it, man.
And Unlil was like Yah the Board, the Yah, how they call him Yahweh, Yah the Board, Sikla.
They all the same God. They all the matter of fact, let me screen share now and I can pull some stuff up for y'all. Yeah, they all the same God. People say, so you telling me all of these deities in the world, it's the same God? Because it ain't it's the fact that they all representing the pineal gland. But let me just start with this image. God is God. It's the mind that guides the body. Let me go with this image here. The brother brought up Enki, right? There's an image of Enki right there. You want to compare Enki to Jesus, to Yahweh, to the pineal gland. This is some of my work in the chat. Hit the like and share button, y'all. Now listen, in the top left corner, there's a deity that they found in Tucson, Arizona. And in America, they've been trying to figure out what this deity is. And Sanchez already figured it out, but ain't nobody gonna listen to me. Now, they've been finding these deities all around Mesoamerica acting stupid about it. And they just call them Gimbutas. That they call all, let me go show you what I'm talking about. They finding these all around the world. And the Dogon got one. You ever saw the Dogon Kanunga? Let me show you something. Let me show y'all something real quick. This all about resurrection, y'all, what I'm showing. Now, look at here. The Dogon got this symbol right here. That's their form of Jesus or the god Shu holding up the world right here in Arizona. Everybody had the same god. Now look, down there in the bottom right corner, it's the goddess Oshun and Beelzebub. Now look at Beelzebub on a mountain with the sky open, with their arms open. Ain't that's Jesus' story? One Jesus on a mountain called Cavalry with his arms open and the sky opened up. See how Beelzebub got the same story? See, look, in West Africa, the goddess Oshun, they put these kind of statues of her around the rivers and the waters because she's a water goddess. And the name Oshun is the word ocean, ocean, ocean. Now check this out. We got images of Moses, right? Let me show you some. They will show y'all images of Moses, right? Splitting the sea right here with his arms open. And what if I told you that Moses is another form of Oshun, this water god is right here in the water splitting the river. See, her statue is making a dry spot in the river, which is the whole concept of if you looking inside your brain right here, you see the brain cut open. Now listen, people, your brain is mostly water. It's like 90% water or some shit like that. But watch this though. So inside of your head is a whole ocean. It's water basically. And in the middle of all this water, that little white dot that you see right here, let's zoom in on it. That's a dry place. Think about this now. If you look in the middle of your brain, you got this little dry spot with a dude standing on top of it, and our ancestors turned that to the goddess Oshun. So look, the goddess Oshun is standing up on top of this rock with her arms open, and that little rock she mounted to represent this little portal, this little sky opening that you see. It's the same concept. The fact that they're putting her surrounded by water is to show you what the brain is. See, when back in the day, right, before we had classrooms and textbooks, we took children outside and we let them look at statues and we told stories about the statue. We told a kid, hey, this goddess represent your mind. The river represent your brain. The fishes, all of that represent your neural networks. In other words, our ancestors would teach the most advanced spiritual lesson in such a simple way because of how they tied it into nature and symbolism. So they can teach something so advanced to a 9-year-old because this was their form of cartoons. You know how today we got Bugs Bunny and all that. Back in the day, they had the goddess Oshun. They had the god Enki. They had all of these mythological characters, and the cartoon was in your head and your imagination. And we didn't just give you these stories for nothing. We told you these stories so we can tie it into how the mind and body work and all that. So instead of the ancestors saying, well, the mind does this and the mind does that, they would say Beelzebub did this, Enki did that. But everybody know we was talking about the mind. It's only today that we forgot that it was just symbolic.
Yeah, and I remember it's like a picture of baby Horus holding snakes. Like he got his arm stretched out like that too.
Yeah, see that another, and that's a song all around the world, same song. Now, if you listen to that song, It's a lot. That is a big message that you can get from a lot of this music, because bro, that song is telling you something that will really change your life if you want to get into syncretism. As a syncretist, that should be the theme song for everybody in my career field. All around the world, same song. I'm telling you, now that I'm into syncretism, that song just hit different to me. Because all around the world, it's the same damn story. And what sucks is can't nobody else see it but the syncretist. Everybody else think it's a different God and yours different than mine. This is a gift, folks. This is a gift. Yeah.
So appreciate that.
No, I
Bro
appreciate
Sanchez,
y'all. No, yeah, for sure.
yes, sir. May you expound on unkey and unlil being the same?
Yeah, I'm saying all of these deities represent the same concept. Here go the god Typhon right here. He's another form of it. Here go what's this? Persia, the god Quas. Man, listen, all of these deities, they just telling you the same concept. Ain't number one truth. All roads lead to this one truth. Every different deity you name, I'm going to show you how it ties back into the pineal gland, because it ain't number one truth. And that's that the soul is inside of the body and we're not our body. We our soul, and that the soul going to depart when it take your last breath, and that we will now be immortals on the other side, ascended up with the gods. But the crazy thing about this story, why it's such a revered story around the world, is not everybody can ascend. This where it gets very beautiful. If you realize like how deep this shit is, only people with souls can give up the ghost. So all the ancestors knew we were in a simulation, and that the body is an avatar, and that some avatars don't have a player controlling it. They're what's called, non-player characters. You know what I was finna go to. But these non-player characters can't die. You know, they can't give up the ghost. There's nothing to give up. So the fact that we can take flight, but people worship people with souls. And that was a time on earth where we distinguished those with souls versus those without. And that was called man versus mankind. And also the humans with souls would also be depicted with angels, like with wings, like what we see Beelzebub and Enki. They would depict beings with souls. They would give you wings. Because you can take flight when you die. You know what I'm saying? And not everyone can do that. That's something to think about, though. You know, the fact that you're a visitor. This ain't even your damn world. Like, I don't think that's really sinking in, the fact that we saying, where are the aliens? Where are the aliens at? And look in the mirror. You the alien.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not our home. We the ones visited here. We're the fallen angels, as they call us. But we forgot, so we've been stuck.
Man, that's crazy.
Right. And I heard some people say that like the reptilians and stuff, they said they was here before we was.
What they calling the reptilians is what I call the non-player characters, and the reason that they was here before we was is and I'm glad whoever this brother is, man, this is finna get deep what you bringing up now, because look, the reason they was here before we was is for the same reason that if you going by, let's say Mario, the video game, Mario, let's say you buy a video game Mario, Koopa and all of the enemies, they trying to kill you in the video game. Now, guess what? They was in the game before you showed up. Before you pick your... So what I'm telling y'all, the adversary is programmed into the simulation. The non-player characters
I just want to say something about a dream I had when I was drunk. And goddamn, the dream I had, it was a giant climb out the ground. And he said, man, they killed us and buried us. And goddamn, he was showing me the land, and I was looking, and it was like a desert, and it was just empty land. But he climbed out the ground, and he said, they killed us and buried us, and they took all our knowledge and everything. And then everything that was going on when I woke up, it was talking about giants. I was looking at the History Channel and stuff. They were talking about giants, how like how they got rid of them, and they would just find them and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, it just threw
They
me
ain't
off.
finding no giants.
Yeah, they buried them. They killed them and they buried them. And that's what they told me. The masters told me they killed us and buried us and tried to take all our. It took everything from us. And
You
that
are the
just fucked
giant,
me up.
sleeping giant.
Huh? Yo, it threw me off. Cause goddamn, I had a lot of dreams that were so vivid. They told me, and then they come back, and I be like, it threw me off. Yo,
Hey, shout
got
out
here.
to my brother Lewis Russell. Thank you for the donation. He said we would have laid Jesus back down after 3 days. Oh no, that's a zombie god. Facts.
I wouldn't
Hey,
watch that nigga walk off.
you know what's so crazy about that, Lewis? If Jesus' physical body would have got up, the Christians would have took off running.
I couldn't watch that nigga walk. I could have watched. You telling me I'm gonna watch my nigga walk a mile to his death? Y'all watching him walk with a cross to get hung? Come on, man. No, I couldn't do that.
So
Y'all,
check out the god Baal down there in the bottom left corner, and compare Baal to Typhon, compare Baal to Oshun. It's just it's so, like, think about this, right? Inky is who? Enoch. Let me show y'all something now, because y'all think that I'm tripping when I say everybody's the same concept. When you look at pictures of Enoch, right? Enoch is leaving. Look, check this out, bro. Check me out. Enoch is leaving up out the damn dome. Look at what Enoch doing. He busting up out the sky. Now check it out. Here go Inky. So if you rearrange the word Inky, you can get Enoch or Enoch. If you put the K before the I, it'll be Enoch or Enoch, Inky. It's the same deity. Same concept.
And I heard they really got Yahweh from Baal, from Baal.
Yeah, but see, whole thing is this. People may go think about this, right? Not everybody, in my opinion, was so technological that they can cut open a human brain and study the inner workings of the neural network. Because this image that I got, right? This image that I'm sharing, this image that I'm sharing in the bottom left right here. This is how all these deities got started. So if you want to know where all of the deities come from, it come from when the humans cut open the first human head. When we started to do surgeries and we cut open the first and examine the brain, we started to make advanced technology like Neuralink and all of this. We became, quote unquote, gods. The moment we unlocked, and so when we open up and cut open the skull, it shows us the foundation of all the world religions. It shows us what the story was about, you and me. The mind that's in the body. This is what the mind looked like. The ancestors said, I think, therefore I am. The ancestors said, there's something in the middle of my head that's thinking. The ancestors said, there's something behind my eyes. There's something in between my ears that's deeper than my body itself. And they cut the damn human head open to try to see what the mind looked like. And for years, they cut the head open and they couldn't find nothing there. They just called it the hidden one. They know something was seated there thinking, but they didn't see nothing. Now, we get technology that can detect something there, but we can't see it. So the thing that's thinking inside of your head, if they cut your head open, it ain't gonna be nothing that we can visually see, but all of our technology says something is there. It's like how all of the compasses is pointing to the North Pole, or a compass reading a magnetic presence or energy, but you can't see it. That's what's going on in the middle of our damn brain. That's powerful, man.
And what's so cool, they say that when you die or when you like project, they say you really leave out from the top of your head.
Yep, and they call it jack in the box, jack popping out the box for sure.
Yep, jack in the box. And see, that box probably represent materialism, the material realm, the black cube of Saturn, the hexagon. How you see bees in nature always make they hives in the form of like hexagons, and you know this hexagrams and hexagon shapes. You know, they're tied to the Yahweh and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mind houses the thoughts. So that does make sense. So yeah. Good.
Yeah. And, you know, the whole thing about, you know, Jack in the box and the whole thing how Jack can pop out of his box is to smooth your rough edges. So we all are dropped into this earth in a box. Let me share some with you real quick, right? Let me show y'all something real quick. We all are dropped down into this ethereal, into this rail in a box. Here go the box right here. Now, it don't shape like a box, right? Because think of a box, right? And you smooth your rough edges on the box. Let me just show you some, and it's gonna make perfect sense to you.
Remind me of the Merkaba.
Yeah, but see, here go the thing about what the earth doing to the box. And I'm gonna show you this image, this next image. See, we're submerged in like a watery medium. This is what our earth is. We're like in some sort of water. We like soaking in it right now. We're under this, we're in this stuff, the atmosphere. But see, the whole thing about this is that if you study river rocks, right? And these river rocks, right? They would be these smooth pebbles. I was talking about this with my girl. I thought about this. Hear me out. These river rocks have these smooth edges, but they don't come like that. They come with rough, jagged edges, but as they're submerged under the water for so long, that water will smooth their rough edges, and they become these beautiful, smooth river rocks. Now watch this. I believe we're all like river rocks, and we're dropped into this earth in a big ass rough edge box, and that the longer we stay here, we smooth out our rough edges. This realm is like a river, just like what the river doing to the river rocks. The longer your soul is in this realm, this water is moving just like the river is moving. It's being stirred up like a lazy river, and it's interacting with your torus field, this ethereal barrier, and it's literally smoothing your rough edges. And how does that play out in your reality? See, this water is being stirred up, and every time it's being stirred, a day is passing. And your life, guess what we say, man? This life is hard, right? It's like if anything, it's like if you're a fucking in a furnace, like when they molding sculptures, you gotta beat it and smash it on it and all that to get that thing looking good. So that's why life is hard, because we're in the process of being fashioned and formed into some very beautiful. But the paradox is you can't get some beautiful without doing some ugly. So if I want to make a statue, I got to bend on it, smash on it, break stuff, smooth little shards. I'm going to make a mess like a painting, right? I'm going to make a big mess. But at the end of it, I'm going to have this beautiful painting. It's the nature got this paradoxical rule to where to make some beautiful at the same time, you have to make a mess, which is some ugly, or to dig a hole, I got to make a mountain too. To make a mountain, I got to dig a hole. But the thing is this right here. This ether that we're in, every day we spend in this life, we learn. Shit get hard. And if it don't humble you, you're like one of these rocks in the river with some very sharp edges. It's going to take you a while. It's going to take this water a couple of cycles to rub up against you to smooth your edges, because not all river rocks get smooth at the same time. That's why not every soul can leave here at the same time, because in order for Jack to pop out his box, he got to transform it to a circle. And how you do that is to smooth your rough edges. So in my opinion, Jack do come in a box, but he can't make it out the box until he transform what the box is altogether.
That's why they say you got to be like water.
Be like water.
You got to be humble to learn. You got to make yourself like water cause water absorb information. And that remind me of Saturn. How they say Saturn got that black cube on the top, that black hexagon on the top. And then you talk about Jack in the Box. Saturn being tied to discipline, hardship, time, patience, pretty much the process of smoothing out that box, smoothing out the rough edges.
Because guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Let the sister go.
But go ahead, Sanchez.
You got it.
No, I was going to say that basically you have to sacrifice your flesh in order to basically, reveal God. Basically, that's what I understood.
Yep.
Go ahead,
That's
Sanchez.
facts.
Yeah,
That's facts.
And Saturn.
That's facts
Saturn
right
Chronos,
there.
he hold that scythe too.
Check out what the sister said, right? You got to master your flesh, which is part of like smoothing what's making your edges rough. I think it's the question we need. Because listen, when a person say he rough around the edges, that mean he lacking discipline in certain ways. He ain't matured to a certain level. That can mean a lot of things. But it means you living beneath your potential in a lot of ways too. But I think ultimately when we become everything we need to become here, we can move on and escape the cycle of death and reincarnation. Now the Hindu said, if you die with regrets, you come back. A lot of people scared of that. I'm not. Because dying with regrets mean this, right? Let me just walk y'all through this whole resurrection shit real quick. Our earth is layered like what we see right here. You got all the time and infinity to master yourself. This may sound crazy, right? If I tell you, take your time. And you say, well, how much time I got? You got infinity. Take your time. Listen, people skip. Now, this is where a lot of people will debate me at when it comes to resurrection. I'm not scared to be reincarnated here again because I know what the earth is. Earth is a big quantum computer that our ancestors made in an advanced civilization, and they didn't even let you be born yet. In other words, you still a baby in heaven. You still a baby in a fetal bag. And this is your fake birth. They let these babies in the higher realm become fallen angels that they drop down into these ethereal worlds down here from the top world. Now check this out, right? Why would they do that? Why would you germinate a seed in water? See, our ancestors know what they doing because check it out. This top world at the top, that's where our base reality at. That's why they said we fallen angels and Jack and Jill fell down the hill to get some water. That story come from man and woman falling out of Eden, which is this top mountain reality up there. And they tumbled down and they fell into these underworlds right here. But see, here's the thing. In order for a seed to become a tree, you got to drop it down into darkness. So we are seeds that was just born in the base reality. So when they say that we're fallen angels, that's like a seed in the ground. Don't look at it like that. We're looking at this thing wrong, right? Because yes, we're in darkness because we're seeds. And we ain't gonna always be in darkness because this darkness is doing us a favor. Think about the seed can't grow if you don't put it in darkness. So a lot of people think we being punished. They think we being in prison. They thinking all this negative stuff, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm mastering myself. And if I die and I say, you know what? I wish I wouldn't have made this decision that day. I was very wrong for that. And if I say at the end of my life, you know what? I done a lot of shit wrong. Send me back. Let me get this right. Man, listen, I'm a music producer. I will work on a beat till I get it right. Why wouldn't I want to work on my life till I get it right? That's why I'm not scared of reincarnation. People looking at it wrong.
I feel like you just I don't got Masonic knowledge, but that just reminded me of the 33 vertebrae for some reason. Like mastery of life, like instead of trying to run away from it and cope, and it's like embracing that darkness, embracing that transformation.
Yeah, it's perfection. It's perfection.
Yeah, perfection. That remind me of the six, because six is the number tied to perfection, Venus, but it's also tied to the 6-pointed star, the whole hexagram energy, down here to play out in nature. And then the 3 plus the 3 vertebrae, the 33rd, that 3 plus 3 is 6. So wow, okay.
I just want to say there's 2 kingdoms basically. There's a kingdom of God and there's a kingdom of darkness. Okay, with the kingdom of God, he wants you to sacrifice your flesh, but with the kingdom of darkness, you sacrifice your sanity.
You know what's so crazy? That is deep, because some resonated when you said that. On the good side, they want you to sacrifice your body, but on the bad side, it's like they want you to sacrifice your soul. Damn, that's crazy, because you're supposed to sacrifice your body to help your soul. But if you sacrifice your soul, you bound to the body, which is something you can never perfect.
Right, like that's I believe the selling of the soul, when you get so stuck into materialism to where it's like you forget, you thinking that you got a soul. No, you the soul, but you got a body.
Yeah, man. That the sister drop made me think of some of that, man. Good stuff. Hell yeah. They want the ancestors want you to sacrifice your body, but the archons want you to sacrifice your soul. Damn, sister, that you ought to take credit for that. That's fine.
It's sanity.
Oh, your sanity. Your sanity,
yes,
yeah.
Sanity, which is your mind, your mental health, your a troubled conscience, basically. That's if you want to put it
right.
that way.
And the mind is the seat to the soul. Yeah, that's dope.
Man. For sure. Hey, bro. See, this bro came on and made this thing go deep. That's why I opened up the panels, man. Salutes to the whole panel. And we got Jay Santos and No Cap on. Hey, let's talk about an Easter Sunday we have in church, man. So yeah, salutes to everybody.
Oh yeah.
But that's pretty much like a lot of people may say, why the heck, what the whole earth, what is this thing? I believe that our ancestors had got so damn advanced that they found out how to time travel. And when they found out how to time travel, they went into the future and saw all of the mistakes that everybody was gonna make. And they said, you know what, we gotta save these people. And guess what they did? They created a bunch of false worlds and simulations. Because think about this, right? Let me share something with y'all. It's gonna click after this, it's gonna click in your head. Our base reality is this top mountain up here. And when a baby is born in this top mountain up here, they put the baby to sleep in a cryogenic jar. And they fucking chip the baby with the brain computer interface. And guess what? They now let you explore these underworlds right here. You may say, and they, guess what? They got pictures of this carved on the wall of the ancestors sacrificing babies to these deities, but they think that they killing the babies. What they're doing is the ancients had Neuralink. They was chipping these. They created simulations. We're in a simulation now called life. And people may say, why would they do us like that? Because listen, when the ancestors figured out Neuralink, time travel, and all that, when a baby was born, they was able to see the baby life from beginning to end, just like it tell you. What does it say in the Bible? It say God in heaven know your life from beginning to end. And these are the ancestors in heaven with the technology. Now watch this. God know your life from beginning to end. That mean that the ancestors know if we let this baby be born right now, it's gonna kill this lady. It's gonna get on this drug. It's gonna do this, all these mistakes, right? So the ancestors said with the technology we got, we can make perfect human beings by letting them act out their imperfections in simulations so that they don't act them out in heaven. So in this higher world up here, everybody in that higher world up there, they only gonna do good because they've done bad for so many lifetimes that they've mastered themselves up this mountain. So the whole thing is this. The ancestors, when a baby is born in the top heaven, they plug the baby into a false birth, a false this whole thing is fake. It's a test. And what the ancestors doing, they saying, okay, it's if we let this baby be born, he's gonna be a murderer, boom, boom, boom. We don't want murdering in heaven. So what they doing is, that's why God created hell, to put the devils and the demons in hell. And what the devils and the demons in hell is just the baby gods that haven't mastered themselves yet. Mastering yourself is what? Control over your body. That means you ain't gonna harm a creature. You're gonna, in heaven, them spirits ain't doing wrong up there. It ain't because they perfect. It's because they already been through all of their incarnations. They tired of doing wrong. It's like, think about this mountain right here. As you climb this mountain, climbing this mountain is you doing wrong. It's all your wrong up the stairway to heaven. It's like a mountain climber. When he get to the top of that mountain, he's gonna be so damn tired. This is like a person climbing Mount Everest. When you get to the top of that one, you ain't gonna wanna keep climbing. This hill is gonna wear you out so much. That's why they call earth purgatory, because you're gonna purge yourself of these 7 deadly sins. What was we doing in the Garden of Eden? Fucking, eating, dancing. We was practicing all the 7 deadly sins. We created earth to do all the things we doing, to indulge. It's called purgatory, so you can come here in a simulation and purge yourself of all these vices. Watch this, right? Why you think the Hindu said don't die with no regrets? Because if it's something you wanted to do and you didn't do it, you might come back here to do it, whether it was good or bad. This is purgatory. Now, there was a movie that they made called Purge. And in the movie Purge, guess what? In the movie Purge, they let everybody commit crimes, didn't it? And we listen, we created this simulation so that you know, baby souls can come make mistakes in a safe environment and it won't compromise heaven above. So if you want to do bad, you do it down here. And if you if you tired of and you've purged out of this world, then you can rise on up to the, that's what this place, and it's beautiful when you think about it, because the ancestors said, look, and every God is good and bad, but we need to separate this place and create a place where these gods can do bad at and have another place where they only do good at, unless we gonna blur the lines and muddy the waters. So the ancestors said, look, when a god, this is a rule of the universe. When a plant is a seed, it got to be under the ground. But the moment it grow up and transform to a tree, it's above the surface. So that's the same thing with us. And when you learn everything you need to learn, you can poke your head up to this higher heaven up here. But everything gonna happen in due time. It ain't nothing to rush. The universe, every mistake you made, everything already known is written out. You're here to act out these roles so you can shed. This is like a snake. Snake got to wear their skin and shed it and shed the other one. It's here to act. Yeah, I'm gonna fall back though. Yeah, you got it. Y'all
Yeah,
got
sir.
it.
The Ouroboros. That remind me of the Ouroboros. You familiar with you familiar with the tree of life and the tree of death? The Clipite and the Sephiroth?
Yeah, man. Talk to him.
Yeah, so I last year in March, I initiated in what's called the Clipite, and so it's pretty much the tree of death. So I had a little bit of like understanding of the tree of life, but when I initiated, it's like your life, and you activate these spheres, these energy, like these states of being, these energies. You can activate them through ritual, and the beings of these different realms in the clip eyes, these different clip eyes, like little circles, the little realms, and I ain't gonna lie, you catch hell, but it's like a real live purge. It's like a real purge. Like I ain't gonna lie, I feel like the clip out, because once you get to the top of the clip out, which is upside down, is really the bottom, the darkest part, the darker, the deeper underground, the darker.
Right.
All that energy, because you done went down, it shoots up. And then it goes through the tree of life. So it's like when you get your roots first, then, but see, everybody, they really don't talk about the clip eye through the tree of death like that, and then they even some say the pillars are really reversed. So they got you looking at the back side of the tree. So they got you thinking, they got your subconscious mind got you going into an alternate reality of, the pillars. Because it's like when you look at the pillars, bro, could you pull up a picture of the tree of life or the tree of death?
My bad.
But yeah, they pretty much got us looking at the yep. And so whenever on the ones that you see with the two pillars, the pillars on each side, they'll usually have severity on the left, the black one on the left, and mercy on the right. But see, that's like your left hand. That's really supposed to be your left side. So it's like if you go to shake somebody with your right hand, you reach into your left to shake. You know what I'm saying? They right hand, so they pretty much got the pillars flipped on us. But yeah, the clip eye, it's a real. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the clip eye is like the epitome of that purge. All the processes that you do, invocation with different demonic rulers, different demonic spirits, things of that nature that deal with each particular clip eye. But as long as you setting your attention to evolve, you can't go wrong.
They appreciate these words of the wise, and appreciate the super chat from the brother John. He said, "A earth is not a prison; it's a puzzle." Good stuff right there, man. Hey, that is fire, John. Appreciate the love, man, and salutes to everybody for the super chat.
I think of it as a school, but
yeah, it's a school. Oak Tree. I ain't gonna lie. I might sound crazy, but I heard it. But I ain't gonna lie. You could develop a relationship with the plants. But I heard the Oak Tree told me, Earth is pretty much a school, and the plants, like how plant medicine, like the reason you could take shrooms and learn so much about the spirit, it being underground, connect to the mycelium network, how they say spirits rise out the ground. How you could smoke weed, or you could take weed as an edible, you could learn, like you could really go deep. You know what I'm saying? Not to say to abuse it, but these are things that's like tool, and it's pretty much nature's way of trying to help us. It's like giving us the cheat codes. Like when you take shrooms, you pretty much like you getting the cheat codes because you getting straight to the spirit. So you're gonna come out knowing some stuff. you know. But
True.
the tree, it pretty much told me, you know, we here to learn alchemy. So the like, if you then gathered a lot of negative energy on you throughout the day, and you go touch a tree, you go touch an oak tree, that tree will take your negative energy and replace it with positive. So it's pretty much doing the alchemy to turn the lesser substance to a higher substance. It's doing the alchemy for you, but it pretty much said, you know, we supposed to learn how to do the alchemy within ourselves so we can transcend this dimension. But it's pretty much, it is a school. That's what it said. It said it's a school.
Yep, like a computer that you put the antiviral or your actual virus software in, and it cleans out the CPU and your GPU, and then your computer starts to run a little fresher. It's just like
Yeah. I always felt like,
yeah.
I always felt like taking shrooms is like the detangler for the soul. How niggas, how you gotta comb your hair. You know what I'm saying? It'd be hard to comb your hair. You need some detangler. I always felt like shrooms is like the detangler for the soul.
Big facts. And yo, guess what Christ ate after he was resurrected? Guess what his first meal? It's like,
Well,
what
you
you
know,
call
they say
it, like your last meal or your first meal? Because we was talking about y'all. That was the question, right? Did he actually raise up from the dead? What type of form was he in? Literally, it talks about two different forms that he represented or shown himself in, right? But both of them, all of them, they didn't really recognize the homie when he came back. But he was but listen, according to scripture, he was tangible, right? It was the dude named Thomas, and they call him twin, right? Literally in the scripture.
I
And it's
can't
like twin,
believe
I'm just
you.
saying, according to scripture, right? Twin didn't believe it. So they was like, all right, I'm gonna be back. And then he came back like 3 days. And it's crazy because I was like, how many days? And I had to do some research, went down a deep rabbit hole, right? Because I was like, hold on, how many days? Blah, blah, blah. That many days? I was like, ain't no way. So, but yeah, he was alive. He came back for a few days. Then that was the dude that he was like, all right, look, you see this wound right here? Go ahead and touch it. You see the wounds in my hand? Go ahead and touch it. That's Thomas, right? But then Mary Magdalene was the first one in all the different stories, because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John got the same. They had the same story, but just like playing phone call a little bit, it's kind of altered, but it's the same story, right, with different details. But for sure, he came back because I was like, did he? And then I had to find out, oh yeah, he did have something to eat. He ate raw fish and honeycomb. But I just wanted to throw that out in there, that little monkey wrench. But shout out to y'all, this good Resurrection Sunday.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because they say I've also heard this theory, because when they say the whole all right after the death, and then they say rising after 3 days, they say that's like the birth of a mushroom. And then they say the whole connection to Easter and the bunny somehow laying the egg, or you will also see it like the Mario, the mushroom on Mario, the red mushroom with the white polka dots on it. Like how you got the eggs, the Easter eggs be looking like that. So they say whenever you pull a mushroom out the ground, it looked like a rabbit hole.
Let me holler at me myself a minute. He know I can't let him slide. Because if Jesus' physical body got up, bro, what does it mean to give up the ghost? Because if I give up if my ghost leave my body, my spirit leave my body and ascend up to heaven right now, ain't that's what we call dead? Ain't that's death, y'all?
Yeah, that was the purpose of the 3 days.
Yeah,
And
he
we know
already died. He
the
already
sun
dead.
going down and then rising back up, right? And remember, I was telling y'all about, like, in Revelations, Christ the Lamb is literally going to replace the actual literal sun. He's going to be that actual light. And I finally found the scripture that actually shows that, and I don't have to just be like the S-O-N of God / the S-U-N. It's actually written in there that he's going to be the actual sun. But going back to what you were saying, yeah, I
Because
do
I
believe
understand the astrotheology, but I'm trying to see was a corpse walking around. My bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what it say. But it don't say that it
It
was
don't say
like
that.
a corpse. It don't say that it was like a zombie corpse, all dangling bodies, and it gives you it gives you a description of Mary and one. I forget, was it Mark or
It's a
Luke?
light body. It's a light
Yeah.
body, like that's the spirit. That's the ghost.
But no, it was actually tangible. Like, you know how
Let,
they
let, let, let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain something to you. Right. Last time I checked, right, ghosts weren't tangible. Here's the part where people get wrong. You can't prove that Jesus ascended up to heaven in the flesh? Because if you could, then the Bible wrong again, because the Bible said can't no flesh and blood enter the kingdom of God. So I'm trying to see how Jesus entered the kingdom of God and as flesh and blood and defied that scripture.
That's what we got to go through, because literally Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John have the crucifixion story, right? I just read through all four of them, just that part about the crucifixion and resurrection, just to, sharpen up a little bit. They vary a little bit. It's always Mary Magdalene that meets them first. It's always two light angels in there, but then they ask, what are you looking for? They get in contact with the new Jesus, right? But they don't recognize that it's him. He goes around, talks to them, eats with them, and then they start to understand based off of the scripture and him breaking down the parables and stuff and enlighten. There's another level of enlightenment after he's resurrected with the actual disciples. Their eyes are open.
Can you give me the scripture so we can read it and start breaking this down?
I'm gonna give you the four of them, and then y'all.
Because I can guarantee that's symbolic.
Hey, I think.
What does it really mean to everybody? Because symbolism means different things to different people. But yeah,
but what I'm saying is, a person can't. It's impossible for a person to give up their ghost and their body not be decomposing after that.
If you God, though, it's.
But but listen, even God gotta go back to heaven. And my thing is this: everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. Jesus died like a boss and gave up the ghost, and what happened? He went up to heaven. So my whole thing is, God got to go to heaven, and I want to know: does God go to heaven in the flesh? Because I thought only spirits reside in heaven. And God is the chief spirit of heaven. God ain't the chief body. Like, God ain't getting musty, sweaty, and stanky in heaven and taking baths and showers. So God can't have a flesh in heaven. I'm trying to understand this now.
Hey, I think the fact that they can't recognize him is proof that he didn't have a flesh. The fact that he had to convince them that he was who they think he was. They didn't even see him and was like, oh yeah, that's him. He had to convince them, like, yo, so that proves that he didn't look like how he looked before.
That's true, absolutely, and that's written. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. And when I think about it, my bad. I know. I was just talking about the mushrooms and all that. The how they raised the 3 days and all that. When you think, I mean, if you dead and you decompose, they say mushrooms, they are decomposers. So I don't know.
Well, the fungal network is what decomposes. When corpse decomposes, the fungus is the mycelium network is what does that. Anything dead, no matter where it dies at, the mycelium network will find it and start breaking it down. And to me, that's interesting in the motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people that take shrooms say they either meet Jesus or Horus or some Christ figure. It leads you. It help get a little close to enlightenment. The pineal gland.
I'll say this, right? Everybody's saying that they meeting somebody when they do these things. I've done them, and I ain't met nobody. But what a lot of people will tell you is that they have a personal experience, and I don't know about meeting the entities too tough, but I'm not putting that off the table. Yeah, Daniel, we get some crazy echo from your side, but I'll just mute your joint. Salutes to the panel.
Luke 16. Salutes to y'all. Luke 16 is talking about the risen and ascended Christ. And then, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then John. Hold on, I got to get to John now. John is talking about Christ. No.
So, but let me ask you a quick question. Before you read that. If you saying Christ's physical body got up off the cross, when did he die after that? Or is he still walking around now as an old corpse?
No, that's not. And it don't say the word physical. I'm gonna read exactly.
Well, hold on, no. You said the word physical. What do you think? Do you think it was his spirit or his physical body?
According to scripture, they didn't recognize him as the homie that went to the cross, but they recognized the spirit in him and they saw the wound. And that's what's crazy. That's why I'm glad we're having this discussion, because it's like, how you not notice that that's the homie? But then he
Because
got the wounds,
I could
symbolizing
tell
the
you
wounds
why.
of Christ, and it's like, yo, is that real? Then he was like, yo, then they touched him and he was like, ew, that's gross. I just put my hand in your wound. That's weird. And also he had dinner and ate with these people and broke bread, which throws out the window any confusion that I have that it wasn't a tangible person. It had to be, because what are you doing eating broken fish
Okay,
and honey?
so check this out. I get what you're saying, but I have questions. What did this tangible person called Christ do after all that? After they ate dinner, after they touched his wounds, what happened? What happened in the story after that? What happened? Continue to life.
Yeah, he was raised up to heaven on a cloud to sit on the right hand.
Wait. This corpse that had wounds on it. See, that's why I'm confused. See, y'all see that now? Because I'm gonna tell you though what does it for me real quick, me myself. One scripture take the doubt out my mind. When it say he gave up the ghost and it talks about his ascension up to heaven, to me, that means Christ's spirit was gone, his body was decomposing, and that, for example, now this is my interpretation of the scripture there. When my grandmother died and passed on, she visited me before she left the earth plane, this realm, because even though she had died, I had a dream that I was embracing my grandmother, and that was the last dream I ever had for her. And it was almost like she bidded me a farewell in a spirit in the dream world right before she passed on. And I've been telling this story ever since it happened, even to my family. But check this out. To me, I can say, hey, man, my grandmother got up. I kicked it with her one last time, and then she ascended back up to heaven after that. You know, that can be looked at like that, because we can't just say this is a physical body, because I got a physical body and I can't just ascend up out of here on a cloud like Enoch. But I know I can astral project though, and you know that now, don't you? You know you can have an out of body experience now, don't you? And I think that's what let's say Jesus probably died on. Let me give you another theory, and I'll yield the flow. Let me screen share, because I'm not set on just my theory that I'm giving you now. I'm gonna give you my alternative theory of what happened at Cavalry when they say he died on the cross. So stand by. Let me grab this next collage, and here it is, right here. Look in the bottom right corner. You will see this cross. That's Neuralink. Let's look at this one. That's the symbol of Aten. That's the devil symbol. See, if somebody die on a cross, guess what? If I put Neuralink in somebody right now, and I upload, think about this now, y'all gotta hear me out. With Neuralink, this what I can do. I can put Neuralink in a person's head. I can upload their soul into a whole new body. Now, when they said Jesus died on the cross, maybe that's the body telling us that Jesus was the sacrifice. Why? Because, hear me out now, if in the ancient world they discovered Neuralink, you need a scapegoat. Who gonna be the first human to get the chip to test it out to see if it worked? What if Jesus was the first human to test out an ancient Neuralink chip and cheat death? And I got collages to support it. Now look, when they said Jesus died on the cross, the Neuralink looked just like a cross. And when you die on it, it means you can upload your soul into another body. Think about this. Death means your soul going into another body. Whether you do it in a synthetic way with Neuralink or a natural way, when you die, you pass on into another body. Jesus could have died a synthetic death, and he could be a cyborg that's walking the earth right now. So to me, myself, is point. If I'm gonna go with me, myself argument, I'm gonna say, well, yeah, Jesus is a zombie, and he's walking around as an old ass transhuman that cheated death, and he died on the cross with the chip. That's the only way I can go with the resurrection with the way with that way that he actually physically did it in another body. I can see that. I could go with that. And I'm gonna fall back right there.
I think it's interesting how they say AI is the Antichrist. And I also notice whenever you fold the cross up, you get a cube. Like when you in class and you got the cube, you got the cross pattern, you folding it up in the shape, you fold up a cross, you get a cube. You tilt the cube a certain way, you get that hexagon again, physicality.
Yep. And 4 is tet, and that's the tetragrammaton, the YHWH, 4. Four lines in a square, and you can go ahead and you multiply that up and you get your cube. Your tetragrammaton. Also the 10. You know.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm so sorry.
Queen, you got it.
No, I was going to say when Jesus came back, when he resurrected, so called, I believe he was in a ghost form. I mean, a ghost is nothing but like a certain type of gases. The elements of a ghost is certain type of gases, you know. And I believe that he was, which it could be, you can translate it as spirit as well. But that's how I think he came in that form. But he had to go to hell, then up to heaven. He didn't go directly to heaven. He had to go through hell, then go ascend to heaven.
And see, that makes me wonder, what if we all got to go through hell?
Listen, bro, listen. You're in hell now. You making a good point. We're in hell now, and get a seed in hell is you being in hell is like a seed in the ground. You going to heaven is when the seed transform and become a plant, and you get your wings or your plant petals. You see, and you peek your head above the surface. Let me get this dude out of here. He's a troll. Go ahead, Joe. I got another troll. Hey, Muhammad, let yourself be known. You got background noise. I'm gonna have to take you off if it's just background noise. Salute to you. Though,
I got background. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Hold on.
You Gucci. Yeah, shout out.
Nah,
to you,
my
man.
name is Mo. My name is Mo. I meant to change it up.
Okay, I got you, Mo. No problem. I got you.
You got me. Shout out to Big Bro Sanchez.
Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining.
Man, you my nigga on my soul.
Bro, that lightens me up for real. I love to get my niggas, my real ones, into this deep shit, man. Hell yeah.
I've been waiting to get at you in a minute, boy. Shit, but I ain't gonna knock it off. I ain't gonna knock you off of your shit.
Unmute and jump in the conversation anytime, bro. We like the energy, man. We all about the vibes that you on, bro. Salutes to the panel.
Do I still got static?
No, you good. You Gucci.
I sound good?
Yeah. I'm gonna drop the link again too, man. We because what we doing, bro, we really coming with the esoteric side of the Easter shit that ain't nobody coming with. Because everybody gonna be on some, it's a pagan holiday, all that. When, bro, we telling y'all, cracking the Easter egg for resurrection is opening up the Pokemon ball, letting the Pokemon monster out. Let's talk about it. Let's go deep into the whole concept of cracking the Easter egg was when Neo opened up his Matrix pod and he was born outside of the Matrix and he was born again in the real world. See, this whole resurrection Easter story is all our story, man. And it's so deep. Let me show you something about this Easter thing, right? Easter is the root word of exterior. The whole concept of cracking the egg. Look at here. Look at that goddess right there on the left, y'all. What's her name? Ostera. The goddess that you see on the left that's popping up out of that white little bubble, her name is Ostera, and that's how we get the word Easter. Now, everybody talking about Ishtar, and they saying that it's a pagan holiday. Why ain't nobody talking about this Yoruban black goddess that predates Ishtar and her name Ostera? Because they don't know everything, and they don't go into the pre-dynastic prehistory with the great mother Sanchez do, and I've been doing it since her story to his story. Now let me break some down to you, right? This goddess Ostera is busting up out of a black hole that we call Earth, y'all. You can't make this shit up. Let me show you Elon Musk Grok sign. Watch this. Everybody know that we live in a black hole, man. Watch this. This is what the earth is. I ain't got to break. This is what we live inside of. And yes, people say, and yes, yeah, it is the flat earth. If you want to go into that, yeah, it's flat earth. It's the Hebrew cosmos. But let's talk about this, right? When they talking about breaking the egg open for resurrection, it's because our earth is this big old, like, it's shaped like a Pokemon ball. And you're inside of this Pokemon ball. And whenever you leave this earth, it got to open up its mouth and spit you out like Jonah in the whale. Now, let me break some down to y'all. Jonah getting spit out the whale is Ostera busting up out of this doggone portal, leaving the fake reality and coming into the real world. Like Neo in the Matrix. See, the whole Matrix movie is older than y'all think. The Matrix script been around. It's the oldest knowledge in the universe. Man's journey in and out of the simulation. So the word Ostera is the root word of what? Asteroid. And when you look, when they telling you about an asteroid, these things don't really, we are the damn asteroids. This is what a sperm cell is. This is what the sperm cell is, traveling through the waters. You were an asteroid or a fallen angel. And guess what? When you impacted the waters, guess what happened? The veil was now introduced around you. So what does that mean? Everybody that dived, that enters this realm, right? This is what, let me show you something about them.
Hey, can you do me a favor, bro Sanchez?
Yeah, hold up a second. I got you. I'm going to just land my plane right here then. But everybody that dives in here, here's what happens. You create a torus field around yourself. The world, people, what I'm trying to really break down to people is that the world around them is their own underwater splash pattern. Every one of us have created this world around us. And what that looked like is Neo in the Matrix hooked up to that tree. Everybody sleep on that tree and they're dreaming that they're in this world. And that's why I'm telling y'all, life is but a dream. And what happens is when you wake up, everybody, see, when you die, everybody gonna be standing around your closed casket. But on the other side, you gonna be standing around they closed casket. And I'm gonna land right here just to show y'all what I'm saying. At your funeral, all of your family gonna be standing around your grave site and your casket gonna be closed. But on the other side, your casket gonna be open, and all of the people that's at your funeral, they the dead ones in this world. Look at them. So when you wake up, everything gonna be flipped and reversed. It's a paradox. You're not gonna die. You're gonna be born again when you leave this world. And the people that's in this world, you're gonna be looking at their dead bodies. You're gonna be looking at them crying how they looking at you. Cause you gonna see that, damn, we already dead. They don't even know they dead. They crying for me. And you ain't gonna be able to wake them up. You can bang on their pod. Hey, get up. They ain't gonna wake up until they unplug, until they rip. Rip means to rip the cords like Neo did. Because when you wake up on the other side, you're gonna bust out this pod like Neo, like, oh shit, that's a baptism. This the Hiram Abiff ritual. You've been baptized right now in a medium called earth, like I said, under some sort of watery like material. And what this watery material gonna do is, like, if you put a seed in water, it's gonna sprout. It's gonna break open out of its pod. So every seed that's dropped down here in this earth realm, eventually it's gonna sprout and crack through. Its shell casing gonna soften up. It's gonna soften itself up to release the soul. Every human, no matter how evil they are, eventually they shell gonna soften. If they stay long enough, they'll get wrinkles on their hand like swimming. You get soft. And look, and it'll sprout. Neo is like a sprouting seed. He's the one that his seed shell casing got so soft. Now, boom, now he broke out of it. And he's out the matrix. So even when you say sprout, you got the word out is coming out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you got it. Let me share it. You know, to sprout is to what? Spread out. Sprout. Spread out. Just like a seed expanding, like to break through the casing. And that's Samson breaking through them two pillars to see beyond the veil. But yeah, y'all got it.
Big facts, like a vine and its branches. Like that's literally the description that Christ was given after he got out, like, you know, after he was resurrected. He discussed the relationship between him and the Father being branches and the vines, and how the pruner, a gardener, literally that's who Mary in one of the Gospels, I think it was Mark, but you know, one of the four, she thought he was a gardener when she was crying at the tomb, being consoled by these two angels. So they're always in the spirit or in some sort of trance, or this is actuality is happening right here in front of us, where a light being comes down right here in front of you. And you are telepathically synced to it and you understand what it's saying. But Jesus wasn't one of those light beings. She turned around and thought, it's like, oh, did you take Jesus? Like, if you took him and hid his body, just let me know. She didn't even know that was the homie. So it's a deep rabbit hole, this discussion. And I love it because it's 4 different stories and accounts. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Then it's our imagination and what we feel innately is the truth. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, shout out.
I weigh the options, right? If somebody tell me a particular story, I live in reality. I know the rules of reality. So there's only one or few ways that a human body can resurrect physically and walk around. And that's it actually, it ain't number one way. That's some sort of technology that the ancients had that cheated death. And I don't put that past Jesus, the pharaohs, Moses. I believe that there are souls walking among us right now. Some people call them reptilians. Some people call them archons. But I do think that they are witches. They're thousands of years old. They cheated death in the ancient day. And they just living among us trying to blend in and shit like they ain't God, like they ain't the gods, you know.
And I would say it's an actual technique. It's a certain standard operating procedure for obtaining this. And literally, he was telling his disciples, you are going to do more works and greater works. You're going to do this as well. And also, one more thing before I forget, he told Mary, don't touch me yet because I haven't, he told her, don't like embrace me just yet because I haven't went to go see my father yet. But then like it goes down to crazy. But yeah, y'all got it.
And listen to me now. Think about this. Jesus resurrected through the Father. Now, guess what the Father is? The God of the earth world and the simulation. He makes the humanoids and the robots and with Elon Musk type shit. That's why I said Jesus is a cyborg if we go with this theory. Because Jesus' father is his maker. Mine is my mama. And my mama didn't make me. She was the portal that allowed my soul to enter here. You can't create or destroy energy. So a lot of people, like, if it's true about what you saying about Jesus, I'm saying that I'm above Jesus now. Jesus is a demigod and I'm a real God. And that's a possibility too, that the demigods got the real gods worshiping them and they reversed everything on our ass. I think that's a big theory that make a lot of sense too.
Hey, so Sanchez, ain't a virus physical? Could there be a possibility that a virus is physical, right?
Viruses are physical. You can detach them with all of the natural senses, would make them part of the physical spectrum. Because we can
that
touch
goes
them.
with the parasites too. Not to cut you out.
No, I was just answering you, but you got it. You got it for sure.
No, I was just saying that viruses can be physical.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
And remember, we're talking about the supernatural. We're talking about something that even the people that was with him,
Can I
that
say
knew
something
about
real
it,
quick?
they was
Me,
like, ain't no
myself.
way. They was like, ain't no way that happened. They was completely shocked.
Can I say something real quick, bro? The word supernatural is something beyond the natural form, and that is a synonym for transhuman, superhuman, right? So what I'm telling you is, if I see a motherfucker today resurrect with Neuralink, I would react like everybody reacted to Jesus. Oh shit, it's really, though they did it. Man cheated death. It's a miracle. You feel me? So I mean, I'm not gonna look at nothing like it's. I can't believe in miracles. I just can't. I'm a grown ass man, bro.
I know that's it. But I'm gonna keep that childhood mentality, man. Anything's possible.
Hey,
That's
I'm
what
gonna tell you something, man. When you get children, you can't think like them. And I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. Hold on for a second. Let me just get this out real quick. I believe Jesus dying on a symbol called the cross gives it all away, bro. Because that was a symbol of resurrection before Jesus. And I'm going to show it to you whether you like it or not. Here it is right here. This symbol of resurrection predate Christianity. And I'm showing you that the symbol of resurrection is a cross sign, which in my research shows this is some ancient technology that we call today Neuralink. Now, the serpent gave the knowledge of how to cheat death and for mortal man to become like God. And if you look at the symbol for Neuralink, it bears the symbol of the serpent. Bro, I'm telling you, Elon Musk is the Antichrist. He's bringing back ancient technology because he's an ancient soul with the chip in his own head. He's an old soul. Now, this ain't for everybody. Me, myself, you got religious people, them believers. They got the childlike mentality. Then you got Gnostics, them are knowers. We got the God-like mentality. We ain't got time to be on, right. You know what I'm saying? We in the age of Aquarius, right? Not believing facts. It's time for man to be a God, not a child. We got to mature to our spiritual position. And we not going to be gods if we stay on our knees believing in miracles and magic. That's what the church and the papacy did. Our ancestors didn't do that. Our ancestors gave facts and knowledge. They didn't leave nothing up for belief, which is why the Bible said, prove all things. When you prove something, you ain't got to believe it no more.
Exactly. Because you don't believe in your mama and your daddy. You know your mama and your daddy.
Yeah, big facts.
Yeah, but you do kind of.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Your great grandparents though, because ain't none of us ever met them. So you just got to.
But you know how? No, I don't, because
because
I'm
you
here.
here though, so you
I'm
know
here. That's crazy.
you here, so
That's
you know
crazy.
Come on, man.
Hold on, slow down, me myself. You gotta admit that you wrong on that before you keep going now. I don't gotta believe in my great grandparents, bro, because I'm here.
All right, but listen,
you know it.
Okay,
right. I know they existed, and I wouldn't be here.
You know
that's just like God.
Right, but everybody can define what they think God is, and I'm telling you, I don't think God is Jesus. I think Jesus is a demigod, and you got the false God. Even God in the Bible say, be careful, there's many false gods and false prophets. And I'm telling you right now, be careful, sir. I think the God you're referring to may be the false one, and that's just my opinion. Because I'm saying if you worshiping a zombie, a corpse that got up, and this is real, I'm not believing in magic and miracles. I know that the magicians were called listen to me, everybody. Check this out now, real quick.
Magi.
The magicians were called the Magi, and they worked for the church. And they were the false motherfucking people. So they had technology to raise the dead and all that, what the church had. Elon Musk technology, BCI, brain computer. I believe that the ancients were way more smarter than they telling us. And they had all the technology that we just finding out today on how to cheat death and all that. And that's what I believe people started to cheat death. And that there were many Jesus's people that was getting the chip. Just it's finna happen again in our time where death is finna be an option, right? And guess what y'all gonna realize? The first humans that get the Neuralink and cheat death, they're gonna be looked at like Christ in the world. They gonna go down in history. Everybody gonna, man, they gonna read stories about it forever. Even though everybody else is using it after that, those first ones are going to be the prototypes to future generations. They raised the man from the dead, and they're going to bring up them first couple of people that raised, even if it become a normal thing after that and millions of people get raised. They're going to always refer to, you heard they raised. When we lose this technology and it disappear from the earth, and you got people that was raised from the dead walking among you, and the new people on the earth and forgot about the technology, you can be 10,000 years old and people will be telling stories about gods who was raised from the dead, and they won't even know that they talking to one.
Quick question. Do y'all believe in life after death, like in the spiritual realm?
I don't. I mean,
I do, and I believe you can cheat it too. I believe you can cheat death and stay here. Think about, hold up. I believe in life after death, meaning your life goes somewhere else after you die. But if Jesus came back to the earth after he died, that's either he did something wrong and he reincarnated with bad karma, or he cheated death with technology. Ain't no other way you can do this. I studied the way that the universe worked with how the soul pass on and stuff. You can't stay on the earth after you die if you did everything right. So if a soul stayed here, that's a poltergeist. That's a ghost in a machine. That ain't a pretty soul. That's a demigod. That's a soul that's like a vampire witch.
That's like bro, what you said about like.
No, listen. Before you go, I'm just saying, like, if we believe in something outside of this physical, tangible space, that's not this stuff that we're talking to and can touch your flesh,
right?
Then that is the supernatural realm, and there's all kinds of levels to that. So what's to say?
No, that's just natural.
No, listen what I'm saying. What's to say that you know exactly how that supernatural realm works and what can and cannot happen?
I do, because I'm gonna answer you. There's something outside of my body that's supernatural. Guess what it's called? My soul. At the end of the day, you ain't gonna take the my from in front of it. It's nothing that's beyond the physical spectrum that's not a part of me or that I'm not a participant of. So yes, there's another realm beyond this world, and it's the realm of God, like you saying. I'm telling you, my soul don't dwell in the same dimension of my body. So God dwells in heaven and Satan dwells on the earth. That means that my mind hovers above my body. Let me show you this. It's called the crown chakra. This is the pineal gland right here. It is the chakra that is hovering right here above the head. This is God right here. Let me show you another example real quick, everybody. Hold on a second. Let me do something real quick, because, you know, I'm beating and teaching. This will take 1 second. God is the mind. Check this out. The mind is not in a physical dimension, which is why when you cut the brain open, you don't see nothing. You don't see, but they turned all of these images of God. Look at these images, me, myself. Look, me, myself. All of these images. I got you, bro. Let me holler at him, bro. Let me do this. All these images, me, myself, is them personifying God. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody say, man, there is something outside of you, Sanchez, that's better than you, that's me, my soul. And guess what? Greater is him that is in me than him that's in the world. That means that the soul inside of my body is way better than my body itself. Y'all misinterpreting these scriptures and you taking yourself out the equation, man. And that, I'm telling you, you're damning yourself. You need to know how great you are, because we're made in the image of God. That means that this is what I love so much about the Creator. The Creator didn't make nothing beneath itself. It made everything equal to it. You know what I love about the Creator? That's like me telling all my homeboys, look, man, I made it in life. I'm successful. And I'm going to help every last one of y'all make it to the same level I'm at, is not better. That's like a parent telling the child, I want to see you do better than me, son, if not greater, versus somebody saying, I just want you always beneath me. That's like me telling my homeboys, look, I want y'all to move up and I'm going to help y'all in life. But if you start making more money than me, then I'm going to hate on you. I don't want you on my level now. You can't be equal to me. Now, I'm going to help you. You my homie. But the moment your money start getting close to mine, I'm going to hate on you. You can't be on my level. God ain't like that. God ain't like that. So if everyone got the right to interpret how they think the creator is, the creator that I serve made me equal to it.
Exactly. And see, that's why I feel like a lot of the stuff that Jesus said in the New Testament, he went direct opposite to the old God of the Old Testament. Like I feel like the God of the Old Testament, like the fake one. And Jesus, he connected to the real one because in the books that was taken out, he said, don't look nowhere else outside of you. Don't look, you look to the sky, the birds above you. He said pretty much God is everywhere, it's within. You know, and when he talked about the realm of Barbalo in the Gospel of Judah, the realm of infinite light, it's like Jesus, he pretty much telling you to look within for God. Like don't
That's
be
right.
looking outside, looking outside,
Because ye are gods, and I'm gonna say this in land too. Somebody said you can't compare God to a human parent. Last time I checked, then they call God Father. What the fuck?
I think they was talking about me because I compared God to
No, I'm not. No. Okay, I just made an example about a parent wanting their child to be better than them and equal to them. That's what they talking about. And I'm telling them right now, that's a perfect example. If I can't compare God to a loving parent, then fuck God. As far as I'm concerned, what the hell am I gonna call you a father for if you don't want that role as one?
Who the fuck I'm gonna be loved by?
And that I ain't gonna lie, the Old Testament got that kind of remind me of Chronos, like how he would eat Zeus and them, like he ain't want nobody to overthrow him.
The moment you say you can't compare God to a loving, caring parent, then I don't want no parts of God. That's the only thing God can do for me. If God is the father of this all, you like a parent. You the creator. That's like my mama, your daddy. They created you. They put you here. If God the one put us here, but don't want the role of a parent, that's like a deadbeat daddy to me. Fucking me, if that's what you saying. Let's move on. If that's what you saying. You don't want the role of you don't want the role of a parent, but you want everybody calling you father. Get the hell out of here. Go ahead, Mo. You got it.
Nah, shit. I just want to say, most respect to you, bro. You done been doing your thing. I heard, man. Look, they don't understand this shit, and it's so crazy. This shit is wild. They don't get it, man. Keep on getting to it.
Yeah, man, like it's like the trap is the material because like they got you reaching, they got you giving your attention, your energy to everything outside of yourself. I feel like the true message, like when they say look within, because you already rich within, like you under the illusion, we the ones that give value. You the one that said Gucci is valuable. You the one that said Louis and mansions and all that stuff is valuable. But when you take your value back from the world, from the material plane, you put all that energy back in yourself, you realize, man, I'm already rich. And that's why it's harder for a rich man to get in the hip, because you don't even know you rich.
And you know why it's hard for a rich man to get into heaven? Because rich people, and also because rich people are attached to their riches and material. Like a rich man don't want to die. It was rich people that created Neuralink, the pharaohs in Egypt and all that. The first wealthy rich people on the earth, they the ones that said, we got to find a way to cheat death. I'm living so damn good, I don't want to die. If you got all this riches and wealth, the idea of dying one day really is sad to you. So you will get busy. Let me cheat death. I want to stick around. You become a fucking poltergeist, a ghost in a machine. I believe that the rich and wealthiest people of the world, Queen Elizabeth, all these people, they calling them reptilians and monsters. I'm saying that they're ancient transhumans that cheated death. They got chips in them. They're humanoids.
So, death is natural, basically.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and everybody need to know that death is natural. And that's how that shit goes.
Yeah.
In and out. In and out.
But hold up. Here's the thing about death,
I'm just keeping it real. My bad.
Death is natural, but it can be unnatural too. A person can die, meaning a soul can leave the body without doing it naturally. That's what I'm saying about Neuralink. So
Big
if
factor.
if Jesus soul, because the Bible said Jesus gave up the ghost, but they said that is but there are suggestions that a person can make an argument that, well, how was it the ghost if they can touch him? I got a theory for both of those. Either this is symbolic, and in my opinion, here go theory number one. Jesus died like a regular human. He gave up his ghost, his body decomposed. He ascended up to heaven. And that when they was partaking or communing with Jesus after he died, it's because most of the ancients and prophets back then knew how to access the astral realm. That's what prayer was. When the disciples was praying with Jesus, they lying to y'all. They got y'all thinking that a bunch of men was yelling at the sky, God, do this, do that. Why would Jesus pray for anything when his life is written out and it ain't nothing he can do about it no way? Like, think about it. Why would I pray tomorrow to have a good day if everything is written out from the beginning to the end, and it's written that tomorrow I'm going to have a bad day? I can't.
I got a
stop
question
the
for you,
scripture.
Sanchez.
So hold on, bro. You can't. Let me finish.
My bad.
So check this out, right? What I'm saying is, Jesus, when he praying with his disciples, they're having an out-of-body experience and they're traveling the astral realm together. And when Jesus died on the cross, theory number one, they was able to visit him one last time before his soul left the earth realm in the astral plane, because they would commune with Jesus in spirit, not with flesh, when they communicate with God, just like they teachers. Theory number two, Neuralink, he's a transhuman. I ain't got no other theories, but shout out to the brother Mo. I'll let him go.
Now, yeah, I just got one question for everybody. So what happened between him getting crossed up on the cross and then being put into the cave? What happened in between time?
That's amazing. That's the crazy story. Going to get them keys. Yeah, he had to go get.
What you mean in between?
What happened? Nah, I ain't trying to turn this into religion. This is Bro Sanchez channel. Shout out to him. Big ups.
No, you got a good stuff going. But I'm saying
It's a question though.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And look, I'll say this.
What happened in between time? They hung up on the I'm gonna keep it brief. My bad. No, they hung up on the cross, boo boo, took them down, put them in the cave. What happened in between time? And then boo boo. Y'all can take it from there.
That's what I'm saying. They hung him up on the cross. They took him down. They took the dead body to the cave, and then they closed it shut. But when they woke up 3 days later, right? 3 days, Christ told everybody he would rise again. But see, people. But see, the thing is, after day one, the tomb was closed. Day two, tomb closed. Day three, tomb open. Here go Christ's body. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm saying this to me is Christ went under some sort of procedure to where they body swapped him with technology. I gotta be able to make sense out of this other than I believe in miracles, because guess what? Once you realize, because guess what? Why? Once you realize that the ancestors had very advanced technology, you don't have to believe in miracles no more. Because if somebody say that a man was brought back from the dead back in the day using electricity, I don't gotta believe in Zeus. I can say maybe they had a defibrillator. Maybe the Olmecs had a defibrillator. Clear, shock him, give him some electricity, bring him back to life. Because the lightning bolt was the symbol for resurrection. That was Zeus' symbol. Before it was Jesus Christ. Because we're electric beings and our body flow off electricity, not off even the air you breathing, which is why when you stop breathing, they can put electricity back in the body and boom, there you go again.
Dang, and that's like Shango in the Yoruba pantheon. He pretty much the African god of lightning, and he died and resurrected. He died and he was reborn in Norish. He died and was reborn a god.
Morpheus gave this game out in Matrix. He said, you think that's air you breathing? You're in a computer program. And
Man,
guess
that's
what?
energy.
And
Yeah.
guess what that mean, bro? You think that air is keeping us alive. Electricity keeping us alive. And that goes to show you that a person can stop breathing, but they ain't dead. You can basically jump start them like a car. That's what the defibrillator doing. Give him a jump start. My car won't crank. Clear? Bring him back to life. That means we're literally electric beings.
And I noticed in the movie Matrix, when he woke up out the pies, it was electricity going up them pies. It kind of remind me of the Jed pillars. In the Matrix, it was like when he woke up out the pies, like all the other pies, it was something that was coming up and shocking them.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Isaac Frimpong. Thank you for the super chat, man. Much love. See, the thing about the conversation we having now, this is the conversation about Easter that you ain't really gonna hear on a lot of channels. Resurrection, right? People talking about breaking eggs. They don't even know why we break eggs. They don't even know how this tie into the Pokemon ball opening. That was the first Easter egg. Can't make this up. The Pokemon game is ancient, y'all. The game that we call Pac-Man is the American version of the Japanese Pokemon. It's Pokemon. But it's all about putting the soul inside of the genie in the lamp. And this black hole is the lamp right here. I can even show it to you in the Middle East. Watch this. Middle East, black stone worship. Everyone worshiped this simulation at one time. Look at this thing. This was the ancestors saying, you're in a black hole. Check it out. This is the black hole. All you got to do is turn it to the side. That's the same thing. So even the ancients knew we was in a black hole. You know, this is the well that Jonah was in, and it spit Jonah out when it was through. So the well is the world. And the whole thing about Jonah leaving the well or you leaving the world is resurrection. This life is our first life. It's our simulated life. So that, like I said earlier, the ancestors are so damn advanced that when a baby is born in an ancient world, they plug it into the matrix and let it live out all of its karma and basically purge itself, learn to master itself. And when you master yourself down here, then the gods pull you out. You made it. There you go. It's a test. It's a damn test that we in.
Big facts. And they say, and you know, they say that have you ever seen them paint that lacquer on that stone? They say that stone not even black. It got black because of all the people's sins. When they touch it, it absorbs the sins, and the sins are black.
Well, the lacquer that they use, the way it ages, it darkens like this naturally over time. But I do like the story that and the myth that they tell with it. It makes it just it gives it more life. But that's the science behind what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Dang, my bad. I missed that last little part on something becoming darker, but it kind of reminded me of the process of the human body aging, glycation. You know, they say we cooking slowly from the inside.
Yep.
And when we done, that's when we die.
Yeah, this is so. I mean, when we talking about opening your egg, busting an egg, symbolizing rebirth. But let's talk about the bunny rabbit concept. Did you know that the concept of the bunny rabbit, this come from North America? Let me break some down to you, because the Mayan and the Olmec taught about resurrection. The Mayan moon goddess was accompanied with a rabbit. Now watch this, y'all. Don't y'all know that in North American, they had a god called Nanabozo from the Ojibwa tribe. And this rabbit, right, in the Ojibwa tribe was called the spirit rabbit. Don't y'all know they turned that to Bugs Bunny today? Oh,
It said follow the rabbit.
listen. The fact that people ain't bringing up Bugs Bunny on Easter, they don't know Roger Rabbit, all of these. That the concept of famous rabbits in America go all the way back to the Mayan time. This is before Bugs Bunny. This is before Roger Rabbit. This is before magicians was pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Now, what does it mean to pull the rabbit out of the hat? It means to pull the soul out the simulation, to pull you from out this game called. So the concept of them pulling a rabbit out the hat was to pull the mind from out the body before they turned it into all that. The white rabbit inside the black hat is basically your soul inside this black hole, which looks like a hat. So pulling and every time they pull a rabbit out of the hat, it's a big witch hat that look like this black hole right here. And they pull out the white. It's the white rabbit is. Let me show you what the symbolism for the white. Why they give you a white rabbit? Because what they don't want to show you is that the white rabbit is this soul right here. Pulling the white rabbit out the hat is your soul coming out the black hole for resurrection. That's Easter. They changed it, y'all. Today it's a bunch of bullshit. You got children hunt eggs and all this. Back in the day, we was teaching these kids about the spirit, about their body. But if you talk to kids like this today, the parents will be like, I don't want my child hearing that stuff. Let them go to church and hear Jesus. It's sad. Let them go learn how to be a slave and a servant with the papacy. Don't you tell them that they're a god.
And that's wild, man, because the rabbit and the top hat, that's them vice lord symbology too.
I didn't know, I didn't know that. And also,
the gangs got all this symbolism. Yeah.
The Native Americans, I didn't know that they also associated the hair of the rabbit with the moon. You know who else? I brought this up years ago, bro. The Japanese, right? When you look at the moon and full moon, the craters, when you squint your eyes and look at it, it looks like it's a rabbit mixing up some sort of potion. They say that that's the rabbit mixing up elixirs of immortality. The Japanese, because I just love anime, I'm in art, but they also revere that as well. I forget what their actual name for the rabbit on the moon is, but that's what they say is going on up there. That up there is where the so-called gods go to, or opening or a gateway for eternal, elixir of immortality. That's part of the cycle in ancient times.
And guess what? Hold on real quick. Guess what people say about the moon, that it recycles the soul, and they call it the moon matrix. But if you look at the moon and we talking about recycling the soul or resurrection, the moon does look like an egg, Easter egg, Ishtar egg, Ostera egg. Think about this. They say that when we die, the moon absorb our soul, recycle it to the other side. If that's true, it explains why the moon looked like a female egg. And it'll also explain why the moon got all them craters on it, because sperm cells are crashing into it as I speak. What if this is all tied into our birth and rebirth, as above, so below? I think it is. But let me pass the mic.
And that remind me of why they say a lot of people, they do magic with the moon. And they do a lot of things with the moon cycles and stuff like that too. That remind me of that too.
Yep, the real time is correlated with the 28-day cycles. The women's menstrual cycle, our goddesses.
Yeah.
Everything's connected back, and actually, like the day starts when the sun goes down. According to ancient Hebrew, what we talking about in scripture. So it's like, yeah, like I was saying, evening, literally, Eve comes from the evening, which relates to the sun. Adam deals with the earth or the dirt. Adamu means dirt or earth, which deals with the mother earth. So literally it's kind of like a verse of vice versa. You got to read it in opposite, like upside down in the bizarro world. When you read the scripture in the upside down or in reverse, it almost clicks right away. But then when you go back and read it front to back again, it makes even more sense. And it's like, why did I not see that And then that opens up another gateway or synapses inside your psyche. So now you can go out into the world and see things for what they really are without having to like go deep into a reverse decoding. But that takes training. Like everything, this is a training ground as well for our spirits. It's a gauntlet of sorts.
And you know what's crazy about is like when a person said, do rabbits lay eggs? That's what I'm saying. Our current understanding of Easter has rabbits laying eggs because the stories got distorted. What the ancestors was doing was personifying different concepts. So for example, the goddess that I was just showing with the rabbit, the spirit rabbit, all of the myths about the rabbit in America, that was tied into resurrection. But you may say rabbits don't lay eggs. You're right. But in mythology, rabbits can eat carrots and talk and say, "What's up, doc?" Now, if somebody telling you a story to teach you a lesson, and you say, if I say, "Hey, man, let me tell you the story of how to dig a hole." There was once a rabbit talking to a man with a shovel, and he started bending his back this way. And you say, "Hold up, Sanchez, rabbits don't talk." I'm going to say, "Bro, I'm trying to teach you how to dig a hole." You get it? Did y'all get that, or did that go over your head? I know rabbits don't talk. I'm making an example. See, we took these stories literally, and now you got people saying rabbits don't talk, and guess what? People don't get up from the dead either. But people believe that literally too. So that's what I'm saying. If we want to start saying what really happened, now we doing syncretism. We're deciphering the stories. Rabbits don't talk. But what was the point of the mythology? It was, look, think about this. They told all kind of stories about different mythological creatures rising from the dead, all this stuff. And a person will say, "Sanchez, a little bitty boy can't build a beanstalk to heaven." What are you talking about, this Jack and the beanstalk, man? And that's the thing about mythology. That's the thing about telling stories, right? Because in my story, this little boy can build a beanstalk to heaven. You see what I'm saying? But what if I'm telling you the story of how the soul leaves the body, but I'm doing it in a mythological way with Jack and because the whole thing about Jack and the beanstalk was teaching, and I'm gonna show you this. It was teaching the soul ascension, the kundalini rising up the spinal cord. Jack climbing the pole. It's the soul climbing the stairway to heaven. Here it is right here. So a person that's saying, "Teach me, Sanchez, about the knowledge of the soul leaving the earth." And I tell you a story about a boy building a tree to the heaven. And you tell me, "But boys can't build trees to the heaven." Your mind ain't ready to get the riddle yet. You don't understand. You're looking at the story, and I know the story is fake. If the story is distracting you from getting the knowledge, you're going to become a believer and not a knower. That's the difference between Gnostics and believers. And them the only two people in the world. People that know what they talking about and people that just believe real hard, really, really, really hard, so much faith on what they talking about.
I got a strong feeling the story of Rapunzel probably represent the rising of the Kundalini up to 33rd vertebrae.
Yep.
That golden
All of
fluid,
this is true.
Gold. Yeah, like her hair, for sure.
This is that's why Jesus died at age 33. Because the 33rd vertebrae is when the soul exits the spinal cord and now enters the temple of God, which is the brain. So it's levels to this out-of-body experience. You can be dreaming in your stomach and your chest because it's a vortex around your body, and these layers are emanating from each one of these particular chakra points on the body. So you ain't, it's like levels of the dream world. Some people go to sleep tonight, like I say, they dream that they at work. They soul didn't really leave this earth on the astral plane because they still at their job and they dream. But some people, when they dream,
they be in a beautiful paradise. We're running what they be, and they wake up the next day so rejuvenated, just happy. And this is how you get a relief through the dream state. Now, what if you go to sleep tonight and dream that you work the graveyard shift, and then you gotta wake up and work the shift again? You doing double work. I'm working in my dream and in real. Damn it, this is torture.
Yo, I would hate that. You better take the mic, Gerald. I promise you, man. You better take the mic now.
I wanted to kind of push back a little bit, if possible, on some aspects, not all of them. Like I believe a lot in all the syncretism and stuff that you put out, and I respect you a lot. I would like to push back a little bit with a question: What if the story of the Bible, irrespective or independent of how religions and all these doctrines have portrayed them to us, what if it's actually true? What if it's actually true that Jesus died and resurrected to make it possible for us to be reconciliated with God?
I would say
Is
this.
it possible?
I'm saying I'm saying this is what syncretism does. Syncretism assumes that everything is true, and then it finds a way to make it true and make it make sense. So so I'm saying, if Jesus did resurrect to make it possible for everyone else to be able to, what was Jesus' goal? To cheat death, right? And to make it to where everyone else don't have to pay the cost wages of death. So listen, here's my theory that would make that true. I'm saying Jesus learned from the Egyptians because his father was one of his forefathers was Moses. We know that. What did Moses learn from the Egyptians? Let me show y'all some now. Give me a minute, because I want to answer him thoroughly. The Egyptians wore a symbol on their forehead of a serpent, and that serpent represented immortality and resurrection. We call it the Ouroboros. So listen, if a person get the Neuralink chip in their forehead, they basically got a serpent on their forehead that represent resurrection. The Egyptians walked around with these serpents on their forehead, and they were called gods, and it was said that they was immortals. Now, they want me to believe in magic and miracles, but I can't do that. So as a syncretist, I won't believe shit, but I will say I know if it did happen, this is the way that it happened. Because I'm going to go with technology. I see it happening today. History repeating itself. Ain't nothing new under the sun. This is the same symbols and stories we're telling today that they told about the Egyptians. So let me show you something. What you saying about Jesus cheating death to make it possible for other people to cheat death, I'm saying that the Egyptians and the ancestors and the Greeks, they got technologically smart, but they got evil. The ancestors told them, in order for us to cheat death, we got to be good, man. You got to be a righteous person. And when you are sin up out of this earth, you get better and better working on yourself. You are going to break the cycles of life and death and reincarnation. The Hindu taught that. But there were a group of technological gurus, y'all, that said, we don't want to master ourselves and be righteous, but we want to be immortal. We don't want to die, but we don't want to be good either. So they started creating technology to cheat death. And everybody know you don't need to be cheating nothing. Cheating don't even sound right. But check this out. Jesus come from the same bloodline of the people who had the technology to cheat death. So what are the odds of him resurrecting with the technology that his ancestors had versus me believing in miracles and magic? I know that the ancient Egyptians achieved resurrection. I know that the Pharaoh had tens of thousands of years to achieve immortality. And guess what? It don't take nothing but a decade to achieve it. It ain't that hard. And if you look at all these images, they showing you that the Pharaoh, look at him. What are these hats he wearing? This stuff right here gave the Pharaoh his God status. They didn't call the Pharaoh God for no reason. They called the Pharaoh God because he was immortal. The word God was designated to immortals. And guess what? Before this technology, the church taught that the gods were immortals that dwelt in Olympia, and that mortal man could never be mortal on earth, could never be achieve immortality in the flesh. But after this technology, they start telling people you can escape the wages of death. Death means your physical body decomposing. So they said if Jesus be the scapegoat for this new technology and it worked, everybody can cheat death and nobody got to do right. Think about what Jesus represent. Jesus represent everybody being able to sin and still be immortal. The only way that can happen is with technology, y'all, because the ancestors said you can't be immortal until you master yourself and break free from all of the worldly sins and vices. So what Jesus introduced was the same thing that Aten introduced in Egypt, was a new law that would done away with the law, which is why I keep telling you with Moses breaking them tablets, that means you no longer got to follow the law. But Jesus said, I didn't come to do away with the law. I came to fulfill it. So there's two stories being told about what was the purpose of Christ coming to the earth. And I'm telling you, the world following the false story. Christ didn't come to do it so that everybody can do wrong and say, forgive me. You got to pay the price for your own sin. Christ didn't die for your sin. Christ came to show you how to live without sinning. Because the world kept saying it's too hard to follow the law. God said, I'm not going to put too much on you that you can't bear. So God ain't going to lie, and God ain't going to make it easy for you, because God said a law ain't that hard. Don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery. You think God going to say, okay, the law too hard. You can cheat on your wife now. You can lie to your wife now. Jesus gonna die. The papacy lied to y'all. That's why the whole world going to hell, like the Bible said. And I'm gonna tell you something. The only thing gonna save people's soul is Neuralink. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, once y'all follow the church to hell, you're gonna have to reincarnate to this earth and get it right. And if you don't want to reincarnate and start your whole life over from the childhood, like Mario going back to level 1, you're going to have to get Neuralink and cheat the game, cheat death. That's what the pharaohs did. Now watch this. Jesus was a scapegoat. He died so that everyone else can live. What does that mean? Right now they're testing Neuralink technology. Everybody want to cheat death. Don't nobody want to die. But the first man that give his body as a sacrifice to take the chip and to upload his soul into another body, guess what? Everybody else in the world is going to get on their knees and worship him and say, thank you for being the one. Think about this, right? We got the technology to cheat death, but who going to test that shit? Who going to be the first human to say, plug me in and take my soul out my body and put it in another body and let's see if it works? If you the first human to do that, people gonna worship you for centuries. You know how important that is? Bro, everybody else that's scared to die and want to cheat death, they owe it to you for being the one to be brave enough to lay your life down and die on the cross so that others may get the technology and live now. That's to me what Jesus was, a technological sacrifice for this technology.
I see what you're saying.
Because if people can't let me go with that, then they're gonna have to force me to believe in magic and miracles, and I can't do that. I gotta go with where it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I would never force anyone to believe magic and miracles. I mean, today we have no miracles, like the Bible says. But what if this technology already existed, like you mentioned, and is it possible that Jesus actually died and was resurrected for living a perfect life or whatever, and dying as a perfect human, like Adam was a perfect human, whatever, paying the price of one life perfect for one. What if it's actual that he actually died? It's still possible that he might have died the correct way. instead of using the narrow link, because this technology already existed. We can agree on that much. It already existed.
And what
before
I'm
this.
saying is, if this technology already existed, what is the chances of Jesus not using that to resurrect versus doing some magic trick?
Very slim.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go with what makes sense. So because that's what the world need. Common sense ain't coming no more. So if I don't exercise it on my channel, I'm doing what the rest of the sheeple in the world doing. I got to use sense. Yeah, I got to use sense, man. And the reason people don't use sense, Jarrell, because when you use sense, that's boring. That's the boring. If it make too much sense, yeah, because think about it. Like, people want a bizarre Anunnaki story. They want a magic trick. They want a miracle. And Sanchez ain't going to give them that. I'm going to give you something that makes sense, and that's boring. That's the only thing with telling the truth is it ain't as fly as telling that fly ass Anunnaki lie. All of them lies, man, they so interesting and entertaining, but the truth just simple and boring. 2 + 2 is 4. But see, it'll be interesting to say, yo, what if 2 + 2 can be 1 though? Let's break it down how that can happen. See, that video will go viral. And people are literally entertained because we want different. The truth just too plain, boring, consistent. Every time it's just 4. 2 + 2 is 4 every damn day. It's 4 again. 4 again. It ain't never gonna change. People don't like the truth. I get it. It's boring. The lie is way more exciting.
It is sometimes for sure.
Sorry. Would the Creator, would God, like, would he proportionate or provide an escape for these type of people that I agree with you 100%. These people have been controlling the world for thousands of years. They don't want to die, like you said. Although some of us don't really mind about dying because we know there's something after this. Like, wouldn't the Creator or the God create, proportionate or provide us with an escape, a different type of escape? From this type of slavery, because we're in freaking slavery, bro.
Yeah, that's what death is. Yeah, that's what death is. So I don't think that's nothing God provides. It's just that this earth was never our home to begin with. It's like if I leave my house and I'm spending a week at a neighbor's house, and the neighbor's house is just a mess. It stinks, it's dirty, dogs barking every day so I can't sleep. And so it ain't that God provided a place for me. It's just that I'm not even in my own house to begin with. It ain't, so a person can say, well, I do have a place that God provided. No, that's just my house and I'm not at home. If that make any sense, it's like, whenever you ain't in your house, it's going to be uncomfortable living in that place. So that's so if life is uncomfortable, let me remind you, you ain't at home.
That's a good point. Bro.
Hey,
sorry, man.
Yeah, you got to go ahead and finish the point.
Bro, what you think about Henriette? Have you ever heard of Saint Germain?
Man, put Saint in front of any nigga's name. It's 100, but nah, not Saint Germain. Go ahead with it.
But yeah, I think I gotta do more research on him. But
man,
I do know about
you need the research.
Lex,
Y'all need to research Saint Sanchez.
For sure.
That nigga was kicking ass in the back in the ancient day with syncretism and all that.
Oh yeah, to this day.
I'm just fucking with y'all. No, I'm just bullshitting.
No, nigga.
But yeah, you know, Henrietta Lacks, I wonder if it was more people like her that had that immortal gene. They said
I'll say this, man. Henrietta Lacks didn't have an immortal gene. That's a myth that people get it out of. That ain't what the science said. It said that Henrietta Lacks had a gene that can cure all diseases. But we all gonna die one day, even if you don't get a disease. Even Henrietta Lacks had to die. But they said that she had a gene that could cure all diseases. As my research, I never heard them say she was immortal.
Bro, Sanchez, you believe in like real vampire? Like, we all know it's like energetic vampirism in the occult, but do you ever like heard of like a real vampire? Like,
The vampire fangs are electrical outlets. I do believe in vampires, but if you take the V off, they become ampires. And the thing about that is they feed off your amplified energy. You are like a beacon of energy, and your energy is being amplified in this particular earth, and they're feeding off the aura around. It's like your music is so loud they can stand around the speaker and absorb the sound type shit. You see a bunch of roaches around a crumb. That's how these energy vampires hang around bright spirits. But let me show you what these vampires are in real time. Hold on a second. And I hope none of y'all on the panel ain't working for 607 Unc, because I think he be bringing folks over here like, ask Sanchez this for your lecture tomorrow, and you go spit that shit. Let me stop, man. Hey, man, but nah, let me show y'all something. Electricity was demonized in the ancient world. When man first discovered electricity, they created a god called Zeus who held up a lightning bolt. Man conquering lightning. He holding it in his hand now. And a lot of the ancestors said, this ain't good. This gonna take us into the digital world. They was right. Soul harvesting. Because we're electrical beings. And when man get the knowledge of how to harness electricity, now he got the knowledge of how to harvest souls, if that makes sense. So look, if you look at the electrical outlet, you will see that became a god called what? Moloch, or electricity. Look, this bull is always burning with fire. And the ancestors know that an electrical outlet is always got electricity behind his outlet. They changed it around on y'all so you don't know that we had technology and stuff in the ancient world. But the reason I put the snake is because the snake shoot venom, and all of the electricity that we make using these outlets is poisonous to our auric field. So the way that our ancestors generated electricity was it was clean. The way we generate it today is for these vampires to feed off of us. To the person who asked that question, every electronic device you use, it basically got a big magnetic energy field around it, depending on how much wattage is using, depending on how big the field. And that interacts with your auric field, and it drains you. So if you sit in front of a computer or electric devices all day, you will realize I'm tired as hell, but I didn't even do no physical labor, because I used to do landscaping, and I would go out there and I would be out there in the sun working my ass off, and I thought I was tired then, but I'm more tired now doing live streams than when I was out there doing physical labor. No cap. I would get off my landscaping job and still be doing shit and active. When I be done with on this social media all day, I want to chill out and lay and relax. I'm drained.
Yo, bro, the lights that we use for entertainment, like the phone, the computers, are actually giving out information. Light is information. And I meant to bring that up when honestly, when Unc and Divine Being was on, we was talking about the levels of light. These false lights absorb our natural light. When we're out, and I tell my people, because we from the South, when we go outside and work in the yard and play in the sun, we actually get more energy. We actually get amped up. And vampires are vampires. They're amplified by our light. They're light parasites. But yeah, these phones absorb our, because we're solidified, hard light, according, solid hard light, right? So this false light is actually giving us a fake information in the upload, and then we download that false fake narrative to the actual source that then reverberates, and it's a cycle. It comes back down, and then we keep feeding ourselves false information with this so-called false light. But yeah, you got it.
I think it was possible to live for hundreds and thousands of years. Now, I don't think it's possible to escape death. We can't stay here forever, because you can't live at your next door neighbor's house forever. You got your own damn house. This ain't your home. You can't stay here permanently. But we could stay here long as we wanted to, and death was always an option or a choice to the ancestors. I think that death became what it is today only now. And here's what I believe. In our natural, it sucks saying natural when Earth is a simulation, right? But in its natural state, in this, it's like saying the original version of Mario before they edited it and all that, the natural simulate, the first simulation we built, the original version, right? Death was an option. You can live or stay long as you want. And why? Because the way that we ate, the music we listening to, the thoughts we had, the activities that became part of our day-to-day life, they actually gave life versus took life. If you think about the universe, if you can go forward, you can go backwards. If you can go up, you can go down. If you can age forward, you can age in reverse. Technically, according to universal laws, you should be able to age in reverse. And when they said people was living to be thousands, hundreds of years old, I believe people reached a point where they say, you know what? I'm just tired of living. I'm gone. I'm gone. And I believe that the way they was living on the earth and the way that the earth was, everything you did charged you versus drained you. And in a world like that, imagine the more actions you do, the more energetic you feel. The more you eat, imagine working hard all day, and the harder you work, the more energy you get. Because the way you're working, the songs y'all singing, the food y'all eating was like, I remember being in the military. We would be drained, tired, ready to go home, and they would find a way to motivate you and do a chant, and you would be like, fuck that shit, I'm a soldier. I can go another 3-4 hours, nigga. And we've been out here 18 hours, and in some way, I'm still crunk. And I'm saying, let's go another damn 4 hours. And it was a way, they always said mind over matter, psyching yourself out. And that's what I'm saying. I believe we literally found the way back in the day to achieve these sort of mental states that would have actually reversed aging versus, because you got some called drain and you got some called charge. And whatever different things you do throughout your day drain you and charge you. But what if we found a way to live on earth where we created a culture, and your culture ain't nothing but a day-to-day activities, how you eat, all of that. What if we created cultures that influence anti-aging? And just in day-to-day activity, it's certain sounds that you can listen to every day to reverse aging. Did you know that? Certain frequencies, healing frequencies, that will reverse aging. I'm saying, imagine that on steroids, a world where we mastered healing sounds and frequencies and foods and waters and charged up to the fact where you had to ask to die. Like, damn it, nigga, I'm tired of living, you know?
I've been hearing people say that the reason lifespans got shortened, they say, is due to something called telomere caps on the DNA. You heard of that, bro? Saying
Capitalism, that's crazy.
Yeah, the telomere caps.
Yeah, about 250,000 years ago, around the same, quarry as Inca and Enlil was at, Adam's calendar in Greater Zimbabwe. Inca came down and put the caps on our chromosomes. Now we're to 120 years, like the Bible says. Sure.
So capitalism must be a soul harvesting system, an energy harvesting system, because they got you to where,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, people they think capitalism is just a system of government like that, but no, this is a spiritual system. Everything is tied, wealth is tied to the spiritual realm, and capitalism is basically a system of government where you got to literally dumb everybody down or cap their light off. Like, everyone got a light shining within them. Let me go back to that picture of the pineal gland. The light in you, they said, let it shine. Keep your mind open. But the whole thing is they capping everybody like by dumbing you down, making you think, you know, giving you the heat.
That's why they put that black square on your head at graduation, and why they be wearing the
right.
what they call
That's
the
capitalism.
Shriners.
People
Yeah,
think
what the
that's
Shriners wear.
that's real shit, man.
syncretism.
Like capitalism can't exist without you capping off people's light and dumbing them the fuck down. And guess what? When a person telling the truth, they say no cap. So if you telling a lie, guess what that mean? Cap, nigga, capitalism. Yeah. Everything is tied into everything. But you know what, guys? I gotta stop right here, unfortunately. But I'm gonna be back this whole weekend. I'm gonna say this whole weekend. I'm gonna be bringing more content. And I appreciate everybody for supporting what I do, no matter how little you give. To the people that hit the Cash App, I really appreciate that. To the people that hit the Super Chat, really appreciate you. Channel members, appreciate y'all. Patreons, appreciate y'all. Panel members and channel members, appreciate y'all.
So
Come back around, bro. We waiting for you, man. Appreciate
Oh
you.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll be back.
When you coming back?
I enjoy you
Shit,
too, man.
I'll
Always.
probably be
Thank
back.
you, man.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna be back before Thursday this week. I gotta edit a couple videos and upload them, but I'm gonna go live before then, though. So yeah, we'll be back. Peace and love to
Hey,
y'all.
Sanchez.
peace to the guys, man.
Peace and love, brother. Everybody in the panel.
Hold on a second though, before I just shut down. Let me make sure of something, man. Let me do. Y'all chop it up 1 second real quick for me. Hold up.
Hey, I got a question for the panel. Can y'all hear me?
Let it go. Let it rip.
Listen. So I'm gonna go real quick. We have an organic neural link built in. We don't need technology. We are the tech. We the most
Hey,
divine.
can y'all hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, we
I
hear you.
got one question for the panel.
Let it
I got
rip.
one question. Is there the 3 days that Jesus went in the grave during the winter solstice or the spring solstice? Could that be reference to the 3 days from December 22nd to the 25th? Like the story's kind of like reversed?
It's possible. I mean,
Because
you don't know.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead. Oh.
I was wondering, do y'all recall the Jewish-Roman War?
Yeah, it was a few of them. That's what was going on during Christ's time. That's
All right, do you know what the war was over?
When?
Do you know what the war was over?
Well, it's over. Okay, no.
It was over Christians and Jews revolting because they believed in the resurrection of Christ. And the
Is
Romans
Jesus
was like,
Yes, sir.
whatever
They're
the
trying to
Romans made it sure. They said, y'all can have y'all little Jewish stuff, but don't talk about
celebration.
this Christ. And that's the one thing they mentioned. So the Jews were under Roman authority for 90
100%.
years. Then Christ passed. Then 30 years later, this revolt happened. And so you got non-biblical sources who also defend that, hey, this revolt was because of they stood down on their ground on this resurrection that really happened. Now, this is historical.
Check it out,
Even
right?
just
This ain't biblical. This is historical. This is historical. Hold on.
I got you. I'm closing out too.
Y'all all know this. Y'all know that wall over there. The wall that they built, that they prayed to.
Yeah, we got you.
Y'all know, y'all remember this war. I just want to know, did y'all know what the war was over? Because y'all don't know what the war was over.
Well, here's the thing right here. I'm not denying that a nigga resurrected. I'm saying he did it with Neuralink. I'm saying
I'm saying history is saying that he really did, and that's what this war
and
was
that's
over.
what I'm saying. I don't think y'all hearing me. I don't think y'all hearing me because y'all talking too much. Listen to what I'm saying, and you will see you talking in circles to someone that's agreeing with you. I'm saying everything you saying. That man really resurrected on the cross. If the cross is a symbol of resurrection, go build a wooden cross in your yard, let me kill you, and let me see if you get up. But I can show you a cross called a Neuralink that will resurrect you. What I'm saying is you're right. A man resurrected in the ancient world is because ain't nothing new under the sun, and they had Neuralink. If we're debating that. Cause I ain't telling you you wrong. I'm telling you, yeah, I think people was resurrected in the ancient world. And I think the dead gonna be risen again in our time too when they perfect this technology.
No, you got that, bro. You got that. It's gonna happen again, for sure. Maybe not in the same way, but it's gonna happen again. For sure.
It's gonna happen in the same. Ain't nothing new under the sun, man.
But he had a glorified body.
But look, by historical record, it said the man was on the cross, he was brought down, he was put in a cave, and he resurrected.
That's not historical record, bro. Stop a second. The Bible is not a historical account of history. It's in it's in the fiction section of the library. It's not a history book, bro. It's a religious book. It's synonymous with mythology. Now it becomes a history book and a book of facts if you know how to decode the mythology like I'm doing. If you want to believe in the damn fictional part of if you want to go into a fiction section and take the book hook, line, and sinker as a fictional book, then that's gonna make you a story believer. I don't want to believe stories. I want to decipher them motherfuckers, because that's what the Gnostics did. You're not doing anything smart, Prince Nero. Anybody can read it. Bro, I'm gonna mute everybody. I'm gonna put you off as you cut me off. I'm not gonna be, you cut me off again on my shit. Real talk now. That's disrespectful. I'm talking. And what I'm telling you is this. No man is going to force me to be a believer in stories. I did that my whole life. I believed in Santa Claus too. And if a child say, hey man, let me break down to you how Santa Claus ain't really real, it's really your mom and daddy, and boom, boom, boom. And another child say, but the stories say that a man coming down a chimney, it's a story. Let me tell you what's really happening. Mom and daddy putting that shit under the tree. But guess what? You will be a child that say, but the story says Santa did it. Okay, well, you go with the story then, man. You believe the damn stories, man. That's how I look at people like that, bro. I'm trying to get y'all to the next level of Gnosticism, which is deciphering the fucking mythos and the stories. And you keep coming to me, telling me Jack and the Beanstalk like I didn't read the damn book too.
No, I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking.
Bro, I'm still talking. I'm saying there are no historical accounts of a man getting up out the grave and walking outside of religious texts. You're lying out of your teeth. If it was, we would have read about it in world history and social studies. Why would they teach me about Columbus and not about a miracle of a nigga resurrecting in my history book? That was in my Bible, sir. I know where I learned the history of a nigga resurrecting, in my Bible, not my social studies books. And you ain't finna play with my damn intelligence, my nigga, because I'm pressing for time, and it's just certain shit I ain't finna debate you about. And what we're not gonna debate about is that ain't no resurrection story is no legitimate damn history. It's fiction. Unless you're deciphering it, telling me how my soul leave my body, it's a damn story. And until you decipher the story, it's just a story. Learn how to decipher. Don't get mad at me. Quit telling stories. I'm tired of hearing stories. I can go to bed without them.
I agree 100%. I think we need to develop our discernment to be able to decipher what the hell is going on. We don't need to like believe just what somebody else told us. We need to like work to try to decipher what the hell this shit means. That's all I gotta say.
Because how the hell are you smart repeating to me what the story said like we didn't all read the book? It said that a man literally resurrected and he really got, bro, I know that. That ain't real history. That's a story I got to believe in. So holler at me when we talking real history. Real history is the fact that the ancestors were very smart and technological. And if we dealing with the facts, we dealing with the facts that they had the technology to make Neuralink and everything we had. Once I realized that, I don't gotta believe in miracles no more, because I know that my ancestors was smart enough to use science and not magic. I know that the people that run the world today, they ain't magicians. They're fucking tech gurus, computer makers, and scientists and shit. And you know, when my ancestors ruled the world, they wasn't doing it with abracadabra. They was doing it with the same technology that the enemy using against me now, because he stole it from my ancestors. And now he want me to think that my ancestors was using fucking abracadabra when my ancestors invented Neuralink. But when I try to tell the world that, they say, but what if a man could resurrect without technology? If that could happen, it would cause me to have to believe it. I can't know it. See, if a man probably could resurrect as a miracle in magic, but that'll never be a fact. That'll be a fairy tale and an idea that I just either believe or not believe. But if I say, hey, a man can resurrect with Neuralink, that's just a pure fact. That ain't no belief involved. So what Sanchez is saying is, I am more biblical than any of y'all, because the Bible wasn't made for you to believe. It was made for you to know. If the Bible is a book of truth, why the fuck do you believe it versus know it? I don't know. I know 2 + 2 is 4. I don't believe it. So if the Bible is a book of truth, why you believe it? Because you taking it hook, line, and you ain't deciphering it. You doing the easy shit, which is just open it up and reading it and believing what you read. Anybody can do that, dog. You ain't smart. I'm deciphering that shit.
Or what somebody else told you. That's what most people believe. What somebody else told you. You don't even use your brain to like figure it out. But
nah, the Bible is crazy because the Bible tell you it tell you to follow the man holding the pitcher of water. That's telling you don't believe, no, because that's talking about Aquarius, the age knowing.
That's all I'm telling folks is, because I'm not trying to argue with. I keep telling y'all, like, I do believe that a man resurrected, but I don't gotta believe it. Because if y'all gotta believe it because y'all saying he did it with magic and a miracle. I'm saying, look, if a man resurrected in the ancient day, it's because they had Neuralink. They had mind uploading technology like what we got. And when I say that, ain't nobody gotta believe it. They can just say facts. That ain't no belief. That you can raise the dead with this technology. That's a fact. And guess what the technology looked like? A cross. Guess what the symbol of the cross mean? Resurrection. Guess what the symbol of the cross existed before Jesus Christ? And it meant resurrection before him. So what did it mean before then? See, I already did the research. It was the symbol of Aten, the technological god of Egypt. Why was he a tech god? Nobody knows, but they said he was very technological, like the Elon of his time. Could it be that he created brain-computer interfaces in Egypt because his whole goal was to cheat death? So we had a god in Egypt whose whole goal was to cheat death, and he ended up with a symbol of the cross. Resurrection. And ain't nobody putting this together. People want to just go take me back to the Bible and read the scriptures and tell me the shit I already grew up in. That ain't fun. I like deciphering. It making most sense. I'm cracking codes. Go ahead, Prince Nero. I don't mean no disrespect. You can finish your spiel. I was just telling you,
Yeah, you
bro.
got in your feelings real quick. Because I never said I believed in it. I just said, based on historical evidence, this
resurrection.
This war happened because of the belief of his resurrection, and there's non-biblical sources that echo on that.
I'm not going to debate
that's all I was
that.
saying.
Right, I'm not debating that. But
I wasn't going by the book. I was going by historical.
Listen, I hear you. You got to let me speak, bro. I'll let you go.
I'll let you speak. I haven't spoke all night. I've been sitting here chilling.
You just finished, bro. You just said that's what I was saying. And I'm telling you now, I was agreeing with what you saying. And I'm telling you, people fight wars all the time for bullshit that didn't happen. People fight wars over lies. I'm telling you that a person fighting a war don't validate shit, even though I still believe that a man resurrected. But people fighting over it don't mean it's true. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
That's a good point.
History was written down in They ain't got no
Yeah,
reason to
it
lie.
was
They don't
written,
have no reason. To lie.
bro.
They don't
It
have no
was
reason to lie.
written,
Hey,
bro. If somebody said they got to fight because the Cat in the Hat and the Dr. Seuss book and the cat pulled the damn rabbit out the hat, you right. People fight over shit that didn't really happen. So I'm agreeing with Prince Nero. I'm saying, hey, I'm not arguing with the wars that's fought. It's people in the Middle East fighting a war right now over mythology, over fairy tales. And the war don't make the fairy tale true. They try to do that all the time. They try to say, so you telling me the Bible ain't real and there's people fighting wars right now? Yep, people been fighting over bullshit. People been fighting over lies and fairy tales, thinking they know every damn thing. But if they knew something, they wouldn't be fighting in the name of these gods. They'll be deciphering these gods, realizing that it represents them. The people that's fighting, like you said, them the dumbasses who ain't deciphered the book. They ain't deciphered the book. They ain't no gnostic. The believers are fighting. Because they believe that God promised them this land, but God also promised them other people the same land. So now they got to fight for it because both of them believe that this is my land. Fuck the belief. Where the facts at? People love to fight over shit they don't know.
no cap.
Hey, bro. I got a presentation I've been like working on for like 6 months, and like to be honest, I'm trying to go against the grain. Like I'm trying to go against the grain, religion and all that stuff. I'm trying to show how shit is deviated. I can email you. I think I seen your email. Is it straight? I'm just saying you. I'm gonna just shoot you an email soon. I gotta go, but I'll shoot you an email soon and see what's up. Like if you can look at my presentation and like if you see it fit, we can get into it or whatever. And like you can bring me to.
Let's do it. Shoot me the email. Let's work.
I bet.
And
God bless you, brother.
I just want to say at the end of the day, Christ's physical body didn't get up. There is no historical evidence for such a thing. If it was, you wouldn't have to believe and have faith for it. And I'm going to tell you how you know people full of shit who tell y'all that. I grew up in the Bible Belt, and I was taught by my pastors, God didn't want to leave you no physical evidence because it's about your faith. How much do you believe? And I was taught it was all about faith and belief that's going to get you to heaven. If you don't believe that Christ was resurrected, you can be good as you want. You going to hell. That's what I was taught. I don't know about y'all.
See, that sounds like somebody trying to piss on my head and tell me it's raining.
Yeah,
Right.
water. But
Right.
listen. Pontius Pilate wrote a letter, and this is considered historic. But we can go down that rabbit hole later. In Neuralink, all technology is based off our organic divine design. We have an organic innate neural link built in. We don't need the actual technology implanted surgically. We already have that. It's copy and paste of what we already are. But y'all got it. That's all I want to put out there.
That's
I was
facts.
just listening to that last thing I was gonna say. My presentation actually goes into what you just said, bro. Like how they have made us stop using our own God-given abilities to think and reason and like question and use critical thinking. So that's in part of what my presentation is about. But y'all got good facts. I appreciate everybody.
Hey,
I gotta go though, man. I appreciate y'all.
Stop styling out loud. You just kicked some facts, man. He said, follow the light, you will merge with your real self. Most run from that light. It's blinding, and it will take you out of the world. If you run, you're running back here to the world to be reborn. That's big fucking facts. Yo, that brother said, follow the light. Because if you don't, you'll be reborn. It's blinding. The light hurt your eyes, but what did they tell Neo in the Matrix? They said, your eyes hurt, don't it? But this because you just opened them for the first time. People keep telling y'all, don't go into the light. Don't you listen to them. They gonna doom you. They literally telling you to stay in darkness, literally. Peace and much love.